Chapter 2144. The process of opening the divine veins was rather difficult. Many people had been stuck at this step for many years before being able to break through. The reason why it was so difficult was because one had to rely on one's perception to comprehend the heavenly Tao. Together with one's own divine profound Tao image, one had to sense the heaven and earth and open a meridian that led to the Tao. The Xian God Tao vein was very mystical. After it was opened, one end was connected to the illusory Tao and the other end was connected to the soul and body. Many people could only open 3 or 4 Xian God Tao veins. This mainly depended on how many divine profound Tao images they had. Qin Yun had 9 divine profound Tao images, so he would definitely be able to open 9 Xian God Tao veins. The process was extremely difficult. He closed his eyes and focused all of his attention on the few divine profound Tao statues. He wanted to use the divine profound Tao statues to sense the illusory Tao. In the process of opening the Xian God Tao veins, some people could open them very quickly. They could succeed in a few days or even a few hours. Some people, on the other hand, needed a few years or even a few decades or even a few hundred years. Qin Yun was alone in the secret room to comprehend. He did not know how long he would need. Right now, he urgently needed to raise his cultivation because it was very likely that he would have to face a very strong primal chaos race. If he became a profound god, he would not need to be afraid even if he faced a god. Qin Yun knew that if he was too impatient, it would be very difficult to calm down. Fortunately, over the years, his mental state was extremely high. Even if he encountered a very dangerous situation, he would be able to quickly calm down. Qin Yun is currently very calm. His heart is incomparably calm. He can even seal off his various senses and temporarily forget everything. He can wholeheartedly allow his subconscious to comprehend the Tao. He was immersed in this state for an unknown period of time. Suddenly, he felt that the heavenly Tao divine rune inside the nether sun had a huge reaction. Qin Yun suddenly woke up from his state of selflessness. He could only feel that his body and soul were connected to something. An indescribable and powerful energy surged into his body, quickly strengthening his soul and body. I've finally opened a Xian God Tao vein. Qin Yun's nether sun spun, greedily absorbing the energy that surged in from the Xian God Tao vein. After this power entered Qin Yun's body, it absorbed the power of myriad worlds' divine sun and combined it into a very strong divine power and stored it inside his nether Sunday. Through the heavenly Tao divine rune image, Qin Yun opened up a profound God Tao meridian and finally became a profound god. The divine power in his body was rapidly evolving and becoming stronger. Qin Yun discovered that his 9 sun divine vein has played a great role. One of the divine vein merged with the profound God Tao vein, and at the same time, absorbed the power of the divine sun through the 9 yang divine veins. It could quickly fuse the 2 powers. Could it be because of the heaven veins in my 9 yang divine veins? Why do I feel that the heavenly energy and the divine sun energy have fused together? Qin Yun seriously sensed it. Then, through the 9 Extinction Heart Sutra, he condensed the absolute yang divine power. He discovered that the absolute yang divine power was much stronger than before. Especially when it was concentrated on 2 of his fingers, the flesh, bones, and tendons of his fingers were in excruciating pain. This meant that his physical body could not keep up with the power in his body. Qin Yun's body shook as he unleashed the heavenly might overlord body. He allowed his body to suddenly become stronger. Only in this situation would he be able to release an even stronger absolute yang divine power. This won't do, my 9 extinction divine body needs to be strengthened, otherwise it won't be able to keep up with my divine power. Qin Yun never thought that after opening up the Xian God Tao meridian, his divine power would actually increase to such a terrifying level. This meant that the Tao that his Xian God Tao meridian had absorbed was even stronger. This is only opening one Xian God Tao meridian. If I were to open up 9 of them, in addition to my powerful divine profound Tao images, wouldn't my divine power be terrifying to the extreme? Qin Yun did not dare imagine how strong he would be if he opened up 9 Xian God Tao veins. Although it would allow him to obtain a very strong divine power, it also meant that he needed an even stronger divine body in order to be able to withstand that kind of terrifying divine power. Otherwise, even if he grasped a strong divine power, he would not be able to release it. When Qin Yun was only a divine man, he was already able to beat up ordinary great gods. Now, fighting against heavenly gods was not a problem at all. Thunder God, if you were still a heavenly god, I would be able to kill you with one slap. Qin Yun secretly released his strongest absolute yang divine power. Xiao Yun, you can't do it anymore. If you continue to release it, your body will be injured. Ling Yun suddenly shouted. Ling Yun promptly suppressed Qin Yun's nether sun, not allowing him to release his divine power. One must know that this is only the power of one nether Sunday. Ling Yun's little nether sun's power has not been released yet. Thunder God is most likely the sacred god. Then, can you still defeat him? Ling Yun asked. If he is the sacred god, then I can't do anything. The sacred god is still very strong. Qin Yun shook his head. If I open 2 more Xian God Tao veins and my body is strong enough, maybe I can. Even if Qin Yun opened 2 more meridians, his body would not be able to withstand such a powerful absolute yang divine power. What if it's combined with the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation? Ling Yun asked again. Qin Yun's 9-dragon heavenly origin formation was refined in conjunction with 9 sun altars. This is a trump card. If it was combined with the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, it would be hard to say. I don't know, let's see the situation, Qin Yun said. Once the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation appears, the 9 sun altars will definitely be exposed. However, sealing and suppressing the thunder god should not be a problem. Qin Yun changed into light blue inscription master robe, then looked at the mirror and began trimming his beard. He trimmed his beard, kept his chin a bit, put on a pumpkin hat and an eye patch, making himself look like a one-eyed dragon. Even his acquaintances wouldn't be able to recognize him immediately. After Qin Yun walked out of the secret room, he saw Xiao Yuelon. Xiao Yuelon is wearing a black tight-fitting leather outfit, her hair is tied up. That blue hairband is a small and exquisite divine talisman tool Qin Yun made for her. When she saw Qin Yun's one-eyed dragon attire, she was startled for a moment and then tenderly giggled. One-eyed little husband. She walked over and pulled Qin Yun's eye patch. Qin Yun slapped away her mischievous little hand and said with smile, "The Medicine King Assembly will begin tomorrow. Let's go to Jasper Flower Valley." He has not left Flower Moon Pavilion these past few days. He only knows that Medicine King City is peaceful. Of course, the outside of the city is very lively. In less than a month, the people of the major powers stationed outside the city released their palaces and mansions. The outside of the city is densely packed with gorgeous pavilions and palaces. It is even more magnificent than the rich and powerful areas inside the city. Jasper Flower Valley, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon arrived at Granny Jasper Flower's secluded pavilion. Only Granny Jasper Flower is here, the 3 kings are not here. Granny, what is the current situation? Xiao Yuelon asked. Have the clan emperor and the other 7 kings arrived? Qin Yun asked. The clan emperor and the other 7 kings have arrived, but they are outside the city. If war breaks out, Primal Chaos Race won't be able to break the city's great formation in a short period of time. It will be more convenient for them to fight the Primal Chaos Race outside. Granny Jasper Flower said. The other 3 kings and many other Qin family experts are inside the city. Qin Yun muttered. Will they really start fighting? Granny Jasper Flower shook her head and said, "It's hard to say. From the current situation, the Myriad Realms Divine Court has played a certain role. They are temporarily suppressing the primal chaos race king. The Myriad Realms Divine Palace, the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, and the primal chaos race joined hands, but they still can't find out who killed the little grandson," Xiao Yuelon asked. "I can't find him. I've received news that it might be the work of the nameless Protoss," Grandma Qianghua said. "The Pill God told us. This news came from the Myriad World Divine Court. Nameless God race?" Qin Yun is somewhat alarmed. He recalled the nameless old man he met in the Sacred Desolate. Yes, the nameless celestial race possesses a power that specifically restrains the primal chaos race. At the scene of the little grandson's death, find the remnants of that energy, Grandma Qianghua said. This nameless god race is very powerful and mysterious. It is a powerful race that has existed since ancient times. Qin Yun was secretly alarmed. He told himself not to use that powerful Chaos Frost power in public. That was a power grasped by the nameless god race. If it was used, it would definitely be exposed. "Is there any news from the Myriad Worlds Divine Court? Sister Yalan is the flower god, why didn't you tell me?" Xiao Yuelon snorted. "Only the core knows about this. Pill God and Medicine God also asked around," Grandma Qianghua said. "In any case, the person who killed the little grandson must be the sacred god. Only the sacred god can kill a group of primal chaos race people and heavenly beings in such a short period of time. Since they have a direction, they shouldn't be attacking our Qin family, right?" Qin Huayu walked in wearing a simple and elegant white dress and asked. "The other clans of the imperial race are all gathered here. If our imperial race truly obtains the 9 Sun royal race's bloodline, it will definitely pose a great threat to them," Grandma Qianghua said. "Therefore, it is still possible for them to make a move." Qin Yun faintly felt that if he could obtain the 9 Sun bloodline, his body would become even stronger. Even if he opened even more Xian God Dao veins, he would not be afraid that his body would not be able to withstand it. Right now, he is having a headache about how to strengthen his body. "This might be a good opportunity," Qin Yun said. "Our imperial race might be able to completely unite and restore our bloodline through this time." At this moment, Uncle Nyo suddenly rushed in and shouted, "Not good, there's a fight outside." "What? A battle has started?" Grandma Qianghua's expression changed greatly. When Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon heard this, their expressions also abruptly changed. "It's not that we are fighting, it's that someone is fighting. It's the killing god, she's fighting with a heavenly mother," Uncle Nyo said. "Killing god and heavenly mother? Come, let's go out and take a look," Grandma Qianghua said. "Yuelon, the killing god is from your divine moon world. If a conflict breaks out between the divine moon world and the heavenly law divine realm, the Myriad Realms Divine Court and the primal chaos race might intervene." Qin Yun had previously asked Xiao Yuelon why Lu Yushuyen had not arrived yet. Xiao Yuelon said that she was delayed by some matters on the way. Now, Lu Yushuyen has arrived and is even fighting with the Heavenly Mother. Chapter 2145. With how powerful the 9 Suns world extinguishing scripture was, one would normally not use it unless it was absolutely necessary. Qin Yun also cultivates the 9 Sun World Annihilation Sutra, but he is still lacking in maturity. This is mainly because he doesn't have the World Annihilation Soul. But even without the World Annihilation Soul, he had mastered a few moves. Therefore, he knew that once he used the 9 Sun World Extermination Scripture, it would consume a great deal of energy. According to the current information, he only knew that the one fighting against Lu Shuyen, the god of slaughter, was the Heavenly Mother from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. Qin Yun was initially worried that it was the Heavenly Mother of Imperial Sound, but he immediately realized that the Heavenly Mother of Imperial Sound did not possess the strength to fight Lu Yushuyen. Lu Yu Shuyan, the killing god, received the care of the deities and moons. In addition, she was the 9 suns' divine lady, and her strength was unfathomable. The imperial sound Heavenly Mother was only a minor Heavenly Mother. It was impossible for her to contend against powerful gods like Lu Yu and Shu Yan. What a terrifying might! Qin Huayu exclaimed in surprise when she sensed the invisible world-destroying might inside the flying ship. This is the 9-sun world-annihilating scripture. Granny Qianghua said, "The killing god's peerless divine skill has caused many powerful forces to worry. I heard that the natural law divine realm also has the 9 suns world extermination scripture." Qin Huayu said, "But the natural law divine realm is unable to grasp it, and the slaughter god can, so the natural law divine realm has always wanted to capture the slaughter god and have her teach him the secret." The Grandma Qianghua said. Qin Yun sneered inwardly. The 9-yang world annihilation sutra was something that Luiyue Shuyan had paid a huge price to obtain. Furthermore, she had spent many years to grasp the basics of it. How could she hand it over so easily? And it was even given to the natural law divine realm. After learning of this matter, Qin Yun hated the heavenly law divine realm even more. Granny Qianghua's flying boat soon flew out of the city. After passing through the densely packed buildings outside the city, it came to an open space. Many experts were here, watching from the sidelines. Lu Yu Shuyan wore a pitch-black battle armor and a black mask that was brimming with killing intent. She wielded a red scimitar that resembled a red crescent moon. She circulated the 9-sun world extermination scripture and used a very strong world extermination power. When that kind of power erupted, it was extremely terrifying. What was shocking was that Luiyue Shuyan's opponent was not only a heavenly mother, there was also a heavenly emperor, and both of them were elders. "Stop!" Suddenly, a dignified voice rang out. That voice seemed to shake heaven and earth, causing everyone's hearts to contract. "It's the Grand Magus," Grandma Jade Flower said. Xian Rujing and Star God also arrived at the same time as Holy Judge. Qin Yun also saw a burly middle-aged man with a cold expression and eyes like lightning following behind the Divine Judge. The middle-aged man was wearing a white armor that was surrounded by lightning. He looked mighty and powerful, and he had a powerful aura that looked down on the world. That middle-aged man was the god of thunder. He is a sacred god. Qin Yun secretly suppressed the killing intent in his heart and calmed his heart. He had finally met the god of thunder, who was as powerful as the legends said. The god judge is also very strong. He is a strict old man wearing golden embroidered clothes and a golden dragon robe. After he arrived, the battle between Luiyue Shuyan and the 2 heavenly emperors and heavenly mothers suddenly stopped. "What's going on?" "God Slaughter, you are a strong god of the Myriad Realms Divine Palace, and the Myriad Realms Divine Palace is on good terms with the Natural Law Divine Realm. Why did you offend a friend of the Natural Law Divine Realm?" The Thunder God shouted coldly. "Shut up. It's not your place to speak." Luiyue Shuyan's furious and cold voice sounded out, accompanied by a killing aura that enveloped Thunder God's body. Everyone was in an uproar. The god of slaughter actually insulted the Thunder God in front of everyone. Thunder God's body suddenly exploded with lightning. It was obvious that he was extremely angry. A golden staff appeared in the hands of the god judge. He floated in the air and waved the staff with great force. The auras of the god of slaughter and the Thunder God instantly dissipated. "Enough, don't you think there's enough?" The god judge looked at the Thunder God behind him and angrily rebuked, "Thunder God, don't be biased towards the Natural Law Divine Realm. In front of us are clearly 2 experts from the Natural Law Divine Realm attacking the god of slaughter." The Thunder God snorted and did not say anything else. Qin Yun is somewhat surprised because the god judge seems to be rather impartial. "When I came to the Qin Medicine King City, I discovered an ancient mountain on the way. The ancient mountain is actually a divine mountain, and because I was the first to discover it, that divine mountain belongs to me. Lu Shuyan said, "There is a divine universe golden stone inside the divine mountain, but it was taken away by them." "Humph, we discovered that divine mountain a long time ago. We thought that the location of the divine mountain was remote and no one would discover it. Who would have thought that you would take it for yourself?" The Heavenly Emperor sneered. "Bullshit, the number of people under your Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother are as many as locusts. Don't tell me you won't leave a portion of them to guard the divine mountain?" Lu Shuyan said coldly. "We did, but you killed us," the old Heavenly Mother said. The God Judge said loudly, "How about this, all of you sign a soul contract and then discuss this matter. Make sure that what you said is true. Our souls belong to the Heavenly Tao, we can't sign a soul contract." The Heavenly Emperor said coldly. "Then I'll sign it," Lu Shuyan shouted. "Who knows what kind of method you will use to bypass the soul contract? You come from the Divine Moon Realm's Guanghan Palace, and have the help of the Divine Moon. Even if you sign a soul contract, we don't believe that the soul contract can restrict you," the Heavenly Mother said. Everyone present could tell that the natural law divine realm did not have a reason for this matter. Lu Shuyan said angrily, "Since that's the case, then we can only fight. You guys injured me and even stole my divine universe golden stone. How can we just let it go like this?" When Qin Yun heard that Lu Shuyan was injured, he was immediately infuriated. He quickly calculated in his heart and made all sorts of preparations to take action. "God Judge, how do you think we should deal with this matter?" Thunder God asked. "God of Slaughter, the two of you from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, stop this matter for now. I will give you a satisfactory result," the God Judge said. "Humph, if they don't hand over the Divine Universe Golden Stone, I won't stop. I want an outcome today," Lu Shuyan said angrily. At this time, more than 10 Heavenly Mother Heavenly Emperors rushed over with a mighty aura. Just that kind of power made many profound God present feel their souls tremble. "If you want results, then come and get them." When the Heavenly Emperor saw that his helper had arrived, he immediately laughed out loud. "Our Heavenly Law Divine Realm is not afraid of the Divine Moon Realm's Guanghan Palace." The God Judge said, "Please give me some face. Is your face worth a Divine Universe Golden Stone?" Lu Shuyan snorted. "God Judge, for that very big Divine Universe Golden Stone, they did something like robbers. Do you think they will let it go?" The God Judge was silent. How could he not see that the Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm had forcefully snatched away Lu Shuyan's things? Xiao Yuelan gave Qin Yun a meaningful glance and then secretly transmitted her voice. "Xiao Yun, think of a way to make a move and get rid of the Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother. Do you have a way?" Qin Yun's body suddenly trembled. No one noticed anything amiss. After all, he was just a small character. Only Xiao Yuelan knew that the one-eyed bearded man floating beside her was only a body condensed from energy. And the real Qin Yun was already invisible. After Qin Yun became invisible, he quickly took out his beard and put it on. Then, he put on a mask. The Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother, who were confronting Lu Shuyan, their old faces were filled with complacent sneers, causing Lu Shuyan to be incomparably furious. Just as Lu Shuyan was about to attack, Qin Yun suddenly sent her a voice transmission. "Sister Shuyan, let me do it." Lu Shuyan is stunned. She saw a black-robed bearded masked man suddenly appear behind the Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother. All the people present are incomparably shocked. The bearded man who killed the primal chaos race's young grandson has actually appeared in front of many experts. Especially Granny Qianghua, she suspected that the person who killed the primal chaos race's young grandson was Qin Yun. Because Qin Yun once disguised himself as a bearded man and participated in the treasure auction to kill Poison God. But she also thought that Qin Yun does not have the strength to deal with the primal chaos race's young grandson. And now, Qin Yun is beside Xiao Yuelan, so Granny Qianghua no longer suspects Qin Yun. The moment they saw the bearded man appear, Thunder God and God Judge immediately released a very strong power and rushed over with extremely fast speed. Boom! Qin Yun shot out 2 primal chaos frost power. The explosive cold power poured into the Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother's body and then quickly took away their storage magic tools. When God Judge and Thunder God arrived, the space fluctuated violently and shook them away. Qin Yun immediately left, leaving behind a very strong spatial power. This is the spatial power he obtained from the Little Ant Queen, allowing him to use Heaven Extinction Step's Transcending Void Step to cross space and leave. Heaven Extinction Step is an improved version of 9 Extinction Step. During this period of time, Qin Yun has been studying and comprehending it. He has mastered it very well. Transcending Void Step combined with spatial power can cross space. It is a very powerful footwork technique. The moment God Judge and Thunder God arrived, Qin Yun already left. As for the Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother's body, it gradually stiffened, turned into ice and shattered. Primal Chaos Frost Power. God Judge said coldly. It is indeed a nameless God race person. The Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother are only heavenly gods. The reason why they are so powerful is because they have equipment. But in Qin Yun's eyes, their equipment is like paper. Qin Yun is currently hiding in the chaotic space. It can be said that he is very safe, because only the Little Ant Queen's power can easily enter and exit the chaotic space and normal space. Many experts present felt fear, their backs turned cold, they are all vigilant of their surroundings. The nameless God race person suddenly appeared, killed 2 Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother, and then suddenly disappeared. In front of the formidable God Judge and Thunder God, he can come and go as he pleases. With such strength, it is no wonder he dared to kill dozens of primal chaos race people. Let's leave quickly, otherwise that nameless God race person will start a massacre. Xiao Yuelan said, then pulled Qin Yun's illusory body and flew away. These 2 bastards died so easily, they got off lightly. Lu Yu Shuyan coldly snorted and flew towards Qin Yao King City. It is unknown who suddenly shouted, "Quickly run! The nameless God race wants to kill us, quickly run!" Hearing this, everyone rushed towards Qin Yao King City in fear. The scene became very chaotic. A tyrannical aura filled the air, completely covering the remnant aura from earlier. Even the dozen or so Heavenly Emperors and Heavenly Mothers who arrived with great momentum are now fleeing in fear. They are worried that they will be killed by the nameless God race person. Chapter 2146. At this moment, the nameless God race is like a demon in the hearts of many people. Primal Chaos Race, Heavenly Law Divine Realm and Myriad Realms Divine Palace are all helpless against the nameless God race. The most terrifying thing is that the nameless God race actually dared to brazenly kill the Heavenly Mother Heavenly Emperor of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm in front of so many experts of the Divine Desolate. The Heavenly Mother Heavenly Emperor of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm are all very powerful heavenly gods. Although they look rather old, they all have the divine equipment of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, but they were still killed in an instant. The person who killed them never showed his face from the beginning to the end. The Heavenly Law Divine Realm is also afraid of the nameless God race. They have a certain understanding of the nameless God race, but they don't know why they were targeted by the nameless God race. In the sky above Qin Yao King City, there are many people floating. They are all far away from the battlefield, worried that they would be instantly killed by the mysterious nameless God race. And on top of a tall mountain not far from the city gate, there is an old man and a young man wearing white robes and conical bamboo hats. The young man said in a low voice, "Grandfather, when did such a powerful guy appear in our clan? To actually be able to kill 2 powerful heavenly gods in front of the divine judge, Thunder God and many Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Emperors, and still be able to escape unscathed. The old man shook his head and said, "That person is not a member of my nameless God race. I also thought it was strange before, who would be so daring as to kill the primal chaos race's little grandson, so I specially rushed over to investigate." Not a member of my nameless God race? Then why does he control the primal chaos cold power? The young man said in shock. "I think I know who it is. Let's go into the city." The old man laughed and said, "That's a very interesting guy, I didn't expect him to grow so fast." Qin Yun has already quietly returned to Xiao Yuelan's side and retrieved the energy clone. Xiao Yuelan hugged his arm and said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, you're really awesome. After you became a profound god, you became even stronger. Possessing 9 divine profound Tao images is really different." Only Xiao Yuelan and Lu Yushuyen knew that the person who attacked just now was Qin Yun. Lu Yushuyen has already returned to Flower Moon Pavilion with Xian Rujing and Star Gods. She will not speak of this matter. On her way here, she had heard that a royal grandson of the Chaos race had been killed. Back then, she suspected that it was Qin Yun's doing, but she didn't really believe it. Now, she is very sure that it was done by Qin Yun. Lu Yushuyen is injured and needs to go back to heal. She saw that Qin Yun has become so strong and even helped her kill the enemy. She is incomparably happy. She really wants to quickly go see Qin Yun and get intimate with him. In Granny Jasper's flying boat, Qin Huayu said in a low voice, "The nameless celestial race is really terrifying. They killed the 2 powerful heavenly monarchs and heavenly mothers without even showing up. Qin Yun attacked just now to see how strong he is. He is very satisfied with his current strength. The only flaw he felt was that his corporeal body was too weak, so he couldn't unleash more powerful divine power. With the nameless God race here, the primal chaos race and the natural law divine realm will more or less have some misgivings. They will avoid fighting with us to the point where both sides are injured, so as not to be exterminated by the nameless God race." Granny Jasper's expression eased up a lot as she said with a smile, "This can be considered a good thing for our imperial clan." Qin Yun impersonating the nameless God race was also considered in this regard. It would definitely have some effect. What he did not know was that the real nameless God race had already arrived. The Medicine King Guild's main purpose was to exchange pill techniques, but now, due to various factors, it was no longer as simple as exchanging pill technique. Tomorrow, the Medicine King Guild would officially begin. If it was in the past, the alchemists who competed in the Medicine King Guild would receive rewards from the Medicine King Qin if they performed well. The rewards from the Medicine King Qin were different every time. This time, there were 5 Yuhua Dan, and 5 people would be able to obtain them. The Yuhua Dan could be considered a Shangpin Dan. And the Shangpin Dan was very suitable for Empyrean gods to eat. After eating it, Empyrean gods could cultivate in seclusion for thousands of years and could even break through a great realm. It was said that some Empyrean gods could even directly ascend to become sacred gods after eating it. The Yuhua Dan was also refined using the Qin imperial clan's ancestral secret recipe. It is quite famous. Qin Yun, Qin Huayu, Xiao Yuelan, the 3 main pillar brothers, as well as the other 4 Qin imperial clan disciples, are listening to Granny Qianghua explain the contents of tomorrow's competition. Tomorrow, our Qin imperial clan disciples will compete with the young disciples of other powers in public. It is mainly a competition between great gods, so at the beginning there will be a realm test. After the realm test, we will start beating the primal chaos god race's primal chaos divine drum. This segment was proposed by the primal chaos race. If you can't beat the primal chaos divine drum, you will have to leave. Granny Qionghua's solemn expression is slightly worried, because she does not know what the primal chaos divine drum is like. Qin Huayu said, "I am only a profound god, I am not good at fighting." Don't worry, the two people who are in charge of medicinal pills don't need to beat the drum. Only by participating in the battle will you beat the primal chaos divine drum. Granny Cheonghua patted Qin Huayu's head and said, You and Shao Qin don't need to beat the drum. Granny Cheonghua sensed Qin Yun's Xian God Dao Vein's divine power and realized that Qin Yun has become a profound god. While feeling shocked, she also felt a lot more at ease. Xiao Yuelon said, Granny, what kind of people will the primal chaos race send? Speaking of this matter, Granny Cheonghua sighed and said, They might send 1 or 2 royal grandchildren. In short, according to the information we have, they have 3 royal grandchildren. 3 royal grandchildren. If they are all great god realm royal grandchildren, they are as powerful as heavenly gods. After hearing this news, Qin Huayu and others' mood became rather heavy. Don't think too much, you must unite. Granny Cheonghua said, You just need to do your best tomorrow. Go back and properly adjust your condition. Tomorrow morning, it will begin at the Medicine King Plaza on the east side of the city. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon are resting in Jasper Flower Valley. They are not going anywhere. They are inside the floating cloud pagoda discussing this matter. Xiao Yun, Sister's Divine Universe Golden Stone was stolen, she must be very sad. Xiao Yuelon lightly sighed and said, I snatched it back. Qin Yun took out the storage bracelet and said with smile, It's inside. If this storage bracelet is forcefully opened, it will self-destruct. However, Qin Yun has Little Queen Ant. After Little Queen Ant opens it, he can take out the things inside. There are many Sun Divine crystals in Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother's storage magic tools. Moreover, they are all relatively large pieces. There are a total of 2 billion Divine Crystal cards, and the ready-made Sun Divine crystals are as big as a small mountain. They are all of extremely high quality. Qin Yun counted the things and said with smile, There is also the Purple Gold Divine Universe Divine Tool. Finally, he found Lu Yushuyen's Divine Universe Golden Stone. It is as big as a thumb, it is indeed not small. No wonder Lu Yushuyen is so angry. Wait until I see Sister Shuyen, then I will return it to her. Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yun, if you face Primal Chaos Race people, will you expose Primal Chaos Cold Power? Xiao Yuelon asked because only by using Primal Chaos Cold Power can one restrain Primal Chaos Divine Sun Power. I'll see. Qin Yun said, I don't need to fight, so it's up to you. Can you deal with Primal Chaos Race people? I am 9 Sun Divine Maiden, of course I have no problem. Xiao Yuelon said with smile. Medicine King City, in a very spacious area on the east side of the city, there is a plaza that is several thousand meters wide. This place is not suitable for growing medicinal ingredients, so it has been converted into a plaza. Early in the morning, many people have gathered in the sky above the plaza. The plaza is also surrounded by many formation pillars. Qin Imperial Clan's inscription masters are currently adjusting the barrier to prevent the battle from becoming too intense and affecting the entire city. In the sky above the plaza, there are many palaces and luxurious large carriages floating. There are all kinds of important people inside. Myriad Realms Divine Court's Divine Judge and Thunder God are inside their respective large carriages, overlooking the plaza through the windows. On the other hand, the Primal Chaos Tribe was on a huge floating island. The huge objects floating above the Medicine King City did not enter the city's barrier. They are all watching the Medicine King assembly from outside the barrier. Primal Chaos Race, Heavenly Law Divine Domain, 9 Sun Sects, Thunder God Hall, they have already secretly joined hands. They want to take advantage of this Medicine King assembly to ruthlessly attack Qin Imperial Clan's confidence. They want to let other Imperial Clan's clans see that Qin Imperial Clan has been united for so long, but the youngsters they nurtured are pitifully weak. They want to let other Imperial Clan's younger generation feel that there is no meaning in uniting. Only a small number of primal chaos race people entered the Medicine King city. Although Thunder God Hall is participating, Thunder God did not enter the city. Lu Yu Shuyan, Star God and Xian Rujing are inside the city because they can support Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan at any time. Everyone is very nervous. First, the big shots of other imperial clans have brought their clansmen and gathered outside the city. It is very likely that they will unite. Second, the mysterious nameless god race caused many people to feel fear in their hearts. As for whether or not Imperial Clan and Primal Chaos race will fight, no one can say for sure. Although they are temporarily suppressed by the Myriad Realms Divine Court, if they truly fight, the effect of the Myriad Realms Divine Court will be limited. After daybreak, all the people participating in the Medicine King assembly arrived at the Medicine King Plaza in the east of the city. And Primal Chaos Race's Primal Chaos Divine Drum is also placed in the middle of the plaza. 10 people from Qin Imperial Clan, 10 people from Primal Chaos Race, 10 people from Thunder God Hall, 10 people from 8-9 Sun Sects, 10 people from Heavenly Law Divine Domain. They all look like youngsters. Once they entered, they began to test their cultivation. They all tested each other to prevent heavenly gods above Great God Realm from sneaking in. After the test, the result will be announced. What caused everyone to be shocked is that among the 10 people from Qin Imperial Clan, there are actually 2 profound god. Although they are pill masters, sending young profound god level pill masters is still too weak. Because the pill masters of Thunder God Hall, Primal Chaos Race and 9 Sun Sects are all Great God Realm. Chapter 2147. 5 groups of people entered the arena. There are more men than women among them. They all look handsome and beautiful, they are all young people. As for how long they have lived, no one knows. In short, those who possess extremely high cultivation and still maintain their youthful appearance are considered as young people in the Divine Desolate. However, there are still many old fellows here. That's why they limited their cultivation to Great God Realm, to prevent Heavenly God Realm old fellows from sneaking in and bullying people with their young faces. In terms of soul age, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are the oldest here, they can be considered old fellows. In the sky, everyone looked at the 1 zhang-wide Primal Chaos Divine Drum in the center of the plaza. The Primal Chaos Divine Drum is completely gray, the drum's surface is like a mirror, flowing with gray energy. Next is to beat the drum. If one is unable to beat the drum, they will have to leave the arena. Beating the Primal Chaos Divine Drum proves that they have enough strength to stay here. This is the request of the Primal Chaos race. The Qin Imperial Clan did not object because they have seen this Primal Chaos Divine Rod before and felt that their Qin family's disciples should be able to beat it. Medicine God, the little disciple you just accepted is actually from the Medicine King family. Pill God chuckled and said, "She is only a profound god, to be so calm in this kind of situation, it's not bad." One must know that in the sky above the Medicine King Plaza, there are many experts watching. In addition, there are hundreds of thousands of people watching. If they are not calm enough, it will definitely affect their performance. The first to start beating the drum are the disciples of the Thunder God Hall. There are a total of 3 women and 7 men in the Thunder God Hall. 8 of them are going to beat the drum, the other 2 are alchemists, they don't need to take the strength test. Thunder God Hall's 8 people are 5 men and 3 women. They walked over, released very strong Great God's power, and used their fists to attack the Primal Chaos Divine Drum. Everyone is watching seriously. The youngsters participating in the competition in the plaza can be considered the top great gods of the Divine Desolate. Therefore, the other great gods watching want to see how big the gap is between them and those people. After the Thunder God Hall's disciples tested, only the 5 men managed to beat the Primal Chaos Divine Drum, the other 3 women did not. What was surprising was that even the great godly stage disciples of the Thunder God Hall could only barely sound the Chaos Divine Drum, and the sound was not very loud. The expressions of the Qin imperial clan's older generations all changed. They were all very worried. If no one from the Qin imperial clan was able to sound the primal chaos divine drum, they would definitely be humiliated. In the end, they would not even have the chance to unite and fight. The 3 ladies of the Lightning God Hall could only leave, which meant that only 5 people could fight. Following that, it was time for the people from the natural law divine realm. The people from the natural law divine realm were all men, and out of the 8 of them, 6 of them were able to sound the primal chaos divine drum. The drum sounds they produced were slightly louder than the 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall. It could be seen that their divine power was stronger than the disciples of the Thunder God Hall. After that, it was time for the 8 disciples of the 9 Sons sect, 2 women and 6 men, to hit the drum. Only 1 woman and 4 men could hit the chaos divine drum. It was time for the chaos race to beat the drum. A commotion broke out among the crowd. They would soon have a rough idea of how powerful the chaotic race was. The members of the chaotic clan were all at the great god realm. There were 2 women and 6 men. The other 2 alchemists were men. All of their faces were cold and indifferent. The first to come out and hit the drum was a woman. She lightly hit the primal chaos divine drum, and immediately, a boom sound exploded out. The entire plaza immediately shook violently. The shockwave from the sound of the drum caused the ears of the surrounding people to buzz. The entire crowd burst into cries of alarm. With just a light tap, it produced such a loud sound. The strength of the chaotic race was actually this powerful. Not only were the people from the Qin imperial clan astonished, even the disciples of the heavenly law divine realm, the 9 Sons sect and the Thunder God Hall were moved. They knew that the primal chaos race was very strong, but they never expected them to be this strong. The thing that made people feel the most despair was that the 8 great gods of the primal chaos race were all able to make a very loud noise. It caused the entire arena to erupt into a series of explosions, as well as enthusiastic shouts. Qin Yun finally understood that the primal chaos race wanted to use this opportunity to display the strength of their primal chaos race and establish an even stronger prestige in the divine desolate land. Next, it was time for the people from the Qin imperial clan to take action. The pressure on the disciples of the Qin imperial clan was immense. This was because they originally had a group of stronger geniuses, but in order to probe the strength of the primal chaos race, they were all injured. Right now, most of these people were put together at the last minute. First, the 3 brothers who carried the main beam went over to beat the drum. What made people speechless was that they actually did not beat the primal chaos divine drum. This caused Qin Zhangquang to go crazy in his heart. The crowd also burst into laughter. From the very beginning, 3 people from the Qin imperial clan knelt down. Next, 2 men and 2 women from the Qin imperial clan went up to beat the drum one after another. What made everyone from the Qin imperial clan feel sad is that these 2 men and 2 women also did not beat the primal chaos divine drum. This meant that the Qin imperial clan directly eliminated 7 people. Originally, they were supposed to fight together, but now there was no chance to fight together. This made the people from the Qin imperial clan feel very embarrassed. On the stage, only Xiao Yuelon, Qin Yun and Qin Huayu remained. This Qin imperial clan is only SOSO. They seem to be united, but the youngsters they nurtured are so weak. Thunder God said with sneer. With their level, even if they recover the 9 Sons royal clan's bloodline, what use would it be? The Qin imperial clan spent so much effort to unite, but they are still so weak. It seems like we worried too much. The one who spoke is a heavenly mother from the heavenly law divine realm. She said with a mocking tone. Fortunately, the other imperial clans did not learn from them. Even if they unite, it will only be a waste of time. Thunder God continued to mock. The surrounding big shots of the other imperial clans all shook their heads and sighed because the performance of the Qin imperial clan is truly too poor. Now, in the Medicine King Guild, they don't even have the chance to unite and fight. Of course, the elders of the other imperial clans are very clear that even if they send people up, it won't be any better. Grandma Qianghua, Medicine King Qin and the other elders of the Qin imperial clan all have unsightly expressions. They never expected that this would be the result from the very beginning. This caused them to suffer a great blow. Yuelon, I will also go beat the drum. Qin Yun said, the rules do not restrict alchemists from fighting. Xiao Yuelon nodded her head. She did not change her appearance, so the heavenly law divine realm and the primal chaos race recognized that she came from the divine moon world's Guang Han Palace. That woman seems to be from the Guang Han Palace. Is she also from the Qin imperial clan? A heavenly mother of the heavenly law divine realm said coldly. She married a member of my Qin family, so naturally she is also a member of my Qin family. Grandma Qianghua replied. Thunder God and some heavenly mother heavenly emperors all know that Xiao Yuelon is the nine-sun goddess, but they did not say anything. They want to see how strong this nine-sun goddess is. Xiao Yuelon went over to beat the drum and used a great amount of power to attack the primal chaos divine drum. Boom! The sound of the drum vibrated. The sound is not any weaker than the primal chaos race. Everyone immediately cried out in alarm. On the Qin imperial clan's side, someone actually struck the primal chaos divine drum. She can't be considered a disciple of your Qin imperial clan. There's nothing to be proud of, Thunder God said with sneer. The Qin imperial clan's elders are all dumbstruck. Not only them, even the people from the other powers are very shocked. They all want to know who is so lucky to be able to marry such a powerful woman from the Guang Han Palace. A heavenly mother said with sneer. Qin imperial clan, you only have one person who can fight and it's from the Guang Han Palace. Don't you feel ashamed? Who said there's only one? Qin Yun suddenly shouted. Everyone immediately looked at the one-eyed bearded man. He and Qin Huayu are both Xian God Realm alchemists. Everyone present knows this. Because all of his energy is focused on medicinal pills, it is normal for his cultivation to be low. A Xian God Realm alchemist actually wants to strike the drum? The youths of Thunder God Hall, Heavenly Law Divine Realm, Nine Sun Sects and Primal Chaos Race all revealed disdainful smiles. You really want to strike the drum? You are an alchemist. If you want to strike the drum and participate in the battle, if you can't strike the drum, you won't be able to participate in the pill competition. Thunder God laughed loudly and said, at that time, your Qin imperial clan will only have 2 women left on the stage. Qin Yun ignored Thunder God and walked towards the primal chaos divine drum. He could not let Xiao Yuelon face so many strong enemies by herself, so he had to go out and fight. An old man from the primal chaos race said with a sneer. Forget about ordinary profound God beating the drum, even our primal chaos race's profound God would not be able to sound the primal chaos divine drum. You are truly overestimating yourself. That's because your primal chaos race's profound God are all trash. Qin Yun sneered. When everyone heard this, they didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Someone actually said that the primal chaos race's profound God was trash. None of the youths from the primal chaos race present were angry. Their arrogant faces were filled with disdainful smiles as they looked at Qin Yun as if they were looking at an idiot. Has the fellow from the Qin imperial clan gone mad from the blow? A woman from the primal chaos race said with a sneer. A disciple of the Thunder God Hall laughed. He might feel that their Qin imperial clan hasn't lost enough face, so he brought disgrace upon himself and completely lost enough. A man from the heavenly law divine realm laughed loudly and said, this profound God really has some ideas. Profound God is going to strike the primal chaos divine drum. Isn't he afraid of being killed by the backlash? Just as everyone was ridiculing Qin Yun, Xiao Yuan lightly shouted. "Little husband, don't mind what those guys said. You're the best." Although her voice wasn't loud, everyone present could hear it clearly. Just now, everyone wanted to know who this powerful woman from the Guanghan Palace was going to marry into the Qin family. Because a man who was worthy of such a woman must be extremely powerful. Many people suspected that that person must be a young heavenly god. But now everyone is dumbfounded. Xiao Yuan's man is actually just a profound god. At the same time that everyone was shocked, a boom was heard. The primal chaos divine drum exploded. Although the sound wasn't loud, it was even louder than the fight between the disciples of the heavenly law divine realm, Thunder God Hall, and the Nine Suns sect. This was mainly because Qin Yun had held back his strength. Otherwise, it would have been even more shocking. But even so, many people found it hard to believe. Everyone was dumbstruck as they looked at Qin Yun, who is beside the primal chaos divine drum. Profound God could actually sound the primal chaos divine drum. The old man from the primal chaos race had just said that even the primal chaos race's profound God would be unable to sound the primal chaos divine drum. And the Qin imperial clan's profound God was actually able to sound the primal chaos divine drum. The youths who mocked Qin Yun earlier, including the Thunder God and the Heavenly Mother Heavenly Emperors, all felt extremely embarrassed and shocked. They were extremely surprised that the Qin family had such a genius. Chapter 2148. Qin Yun's words just now sounded very ear-piercing and arrogant to the primal chaos youths. The Thunder God Hall's disciple said with sneer, "You are a profound god. It is quite amazing that you can strike the primal chaos divine drum, but the sound of your drum is about the same as ours. It is far inferior to the geniuses of the primal chaos race. You can't even defeat our Thunder God Hall's disciples, let alone deal with the geniuses of the primal chaos race." Thunder God Hall, was it founded by the dog of Thunder God? Is there anything you dogs can't beat? Qin Yun said indifferently. "One-eyed dragon you. Just you wait." A tall youth from the Thunder God Hall pointed at Qin Yun and said angrily. In the sky, Thunder God's expression is also very unsightly. He wished that he could pinch this one-eyed dragon to death. Qin Yun's current appearance is somewhat different from when he was the king of gods. In addition, he is wearing a one-eyed mask and has grown a beard. Thunder God can't recognize him. He dressed like this because he was worried that he would be recognized by the old god from back then. The Qin imperial clan's side finally heaved a sigh of relief. However, they still feel very regretful because none of their true Qin imperial clan disciples were able to stay here. The older generation now know that the one-eyed dragon's name is Qin Fei. He just joined the Qin imperial clan not long ago, and he even brought a very strong wife with him. If it wasn't for them, the Qin imperial clan would have been utterly humiliated today. But even so, the older generation are still worried that something might happen to this couple. Because there are only two of them, but they have to face the challenges of several great powers geniuses. The Medicine King Guild is mainly about exchanging pointers in pill concocting technique. The battle is to enliven the atmosphere of the Medicine King Guild. An old man on the stage said, "Then, let's begin exchanging pointers in pill concocting techniques." That old man is from the primal chaos race. His face is filled with a sinister smile. Qin Yun already knew that the rules of exchanging pointers had already been discussed. They were mainly proposed by the primal chaos race and the heavenly law divine realm. When exchanging pointers, many powers will join hands to challenge the Qin Medicine King City. Qin Yun felt that the Qin imperial clan's preparations were not sufficient. If he and Xiao Yuan were not present today, the Qin imperial clan would not have any business at all. It is a medicine with 30% poison. The pill concocting technique that you are exchanging pointers is to refine poison into a pill that can be eaten, and then refine the poison. This is a great test of an alchemist's skill. The rules are like this. The Thunder God Hall, the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, the Nine Suns Sex, and the Primal Chaos Race will each provide one type of highly poisonous medicinal ingredient, and the 2 alchemists from your Qin Imperial clan will refine these 4 types of highly poisonous medicinal ingredients into 2 pellets to eat. When everyone heard this rule, they all frowned and shook their heads. This was equivalent to suicide. Then, are you not going to do anything but provide toxic herbs? Qin Yun said with a sneer. Of course not. Your Qin Imperial clan, provide 2 types of highly toxic medicinal ingredients to the other 4 sides and have them refine them into pellets to eat. That old man evilly laughed and said, We can't not refine them and we can't not eat them. If one were to be poisoned after eating a pill that he had refined himself, it would mean that the alchemist was not skilled enough and had asked for it. What if he dies from eating it? Qin Huayu asked with a frown. Generally speaking, an alchemist can remove most of the poison after dealing with the medicinal ingredient. If he dies from being poisoned, it is the alchemist's own responsibility. If you are afraid, you can admit defeat right now. The old man from the Primal Chaos Race laughed sinisterly. Are you guys afraid? Qin Huayu snorted. I'm not afraid, but it's unfair. You provide us with 4 types of highly poisonous medicinal ingredients. We need to refine 4 types of highly poisonous medicinal ingredients, and you only need to refine 2. But if your highly poisonous medicinal ingredients are powerful, then we will have 8 poisoned and injured alchemists on our side. You guys will have profited greatly. That old man laughed and said, Young man, this is our challenge to your Qin Imperial clan. What is a challenge? Don't you know? Qin Yun patted Qin Huayu's shoulder and said, You can begin. This kind of sparring method had a certain amount of risk. If it was not handled well, he might be poisoned and die in the end. Those people from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm who were in charge of fighting sneered and said, That one-eyed dragon is an alchemist. If he is poisoned, let's see how he will fight next. He even boasted shamelessly before, saying that he is more than enough to deal with us. I think he might even be poisoned to death. Everyone also thought of this point. If Qin Yun was poisoned, he would not be able to participate in the following battle. This immediately caused the older generation of the Qin Imperial clan to be secretly worried. Granny Qianghua is actually not that worried. She knows how the poison god died. He was poisoned by Qin Yun and was unable to retaliate before being killed with a single slash. Qin Yun promptly took out the highly poisonous medicinal ingredients from the 9 Sun Divine Spirit and gave them to the 4 groups of young alchemists. He only gave out 2 kinds of highly poisonous medicinal ingredients. They are the heavenly poison grass and the soul-devouring flower. When Qin Yun handed over the medicinal ingredients, he secretly branded some runes on them. The heavenly poison grass has a very strong paralysis effect, and the soul-devouring flower can cause serious damage to the soul. These 2 poisons are not very poisonous. After eating them, there won't be any big reaction. What is formidable is that the after-effect is very strong. Adding on the runes Qin Yun secretly added, it will cause the poison to be unable to be completely removed and will retain a bit of very strong poison power. That bit of poison power is enough to put people down. How do we determine the winner and loser? Qin Yun asked after receiving the 4 kinds of highly poisonous medicinal ingredient. This is only the first round. If all the alchemists can endure this round, we will proceed to the second round. The old man from the Primal Chaos Race said with smile, If you are poisoned and unable to endure, you will lose. Next, they would be checking their alchemy equipment to prevent them from having the ability to store items and cheating. Many inscription masters are conducting the inspection. It is very strict. The main purpose is to prevent the other party from cheating. The time limit is 1 hour. The sand in the hourglass began to leak out. There are many experts watching from all directions. Therefore, it is very difficult to play any tricks during the refining process. Qin Huayu looked at the 4 brightly colored, highly poisonous medicinal ingredients and said with frown, "Xiao Qin, just the smell of these medicinal ingredients is very strong. If you come close and smell them, you will be poisoned." She has quite a brilliant technique when dealing with highly poisonous medicinal ingredient. Therefore, she is not afraid of poison. In the sky, the pill god and the medicine god are surrounded by experts. "Medicine god, do you know what kind of highly poisonous medicinal ingredient that is?" someone asked. "Qin Huayu is your disciple. Will she be fine?" "I don't know. I have never seen those highly poisonous medicinal ingredients." The medicine god shook his head and said, "I have yet to impart the method to deal with poison to that little girl Huayu. However, she is the descendant of Medicine King Qin, so she must have mastered this method. During pill refining, under special circumstances, it is necessary to match some highly poisonous medicinal ingredients in order to successfully refine the pill. The medicinal ingredients that contain highly poisonous medicinal ingredients have very strong and special energy inside them. If the poison is removed and only that kind of energy is left, then it will become a very good divine medicine." A powerful alchemist not only knows how to grow medicinal ingredients, they also need to master how to remove the toxicity of highly poisonous medicinal ingredient. Of course, generally speaking, it is very difficult to completely remove the toxicity of highly poisonous medicinal ingredient. There will still be some remaining, so this kind of pill can't be eaten too much. "Sister Qin, you are in charge of medicine making. I am in charge of pill refining," Qin Yun said with smile and low voice. "If there is anything you don't understand, I will teach you." Qin Yun is actually very relaxed because even if they are poisoned, he can detoxify them. Someone asked the medicine god, "Medicine god, what are the 2 highly poisonous medicinal ingredients that the Qin imperial clan gave out? Can you tell?" "I can't tell either." The medicine god shook his head and said, "The divine desolate is so big and it has only been formed for 100 years. It is impossible for me to recognize all of the highly poisonous medicinal ingredients." The heavenly poison grass that Qin Yun gave them was a large clump that was dug out from the huge heavenly poison grass seed. Furthermore, it has been specially processed and branded with some runes. It is a very evil medicinal ingredient. After the 2 young alchemists from the Thunder God Hall received the highly poisonous medicinal ingredients from Qin Yun, their faces are filled with disdain. Is the Qin imperial clan only at this level? They can't even take out decent highly poisonous medicinal ingredients? One of the alchemists said with sneer. This clump only has a certain numbing effect. Heavenly Law Divine Realms alchemist laughed and said, the other flower has a certain amount of damage to the soul. Its toxicity is very ordinary. Nine Suns Sex alchemist said with a casual expression, I'm not afraid of eating these things raw. Primal Chaos Race's alchemist directly took a bite of the heavenly poison grass and swallowed it. He laughed loudly and said, it's just a numbing tongue. I will be able to expel this poison very quickly. Seeing how the other 4 groups of alchemists treated the highly poisonous medicinal ingredients given by Qin Yun so casually, everyone felt that the Qin imperial clan's preparations were not sufficient. The Qin imperial clan's elders did not say anything because this is a competition between youngsters. They only watched quietly and patiently from the side. Granny Qianghua, Dog God and the others knew that since Qin Yun was able to defeat the poison god, the highly poisonous medicinal ingredients he gave were definitely not casually given out. Qin Huayu very earnestly processed those highly poisonous medicinal ingredients. She is indeed very talented. When processing, she directly removed a large portion of the poison. Adding on Qin Yun's pointers from the side, she was basically able to remove all of the poison. It had already been an hour. Leave the rest to me. When I'm concocting pills, I can directly refine the poison. Qin Yun said with smile. Big Sister Qin, you did really well. Qin Huayu also revealed a trace of a smile. She is still very nervous in her heart. The pill furnace Qin Yun used was very ordinary. It was not the pill transformation heavenly furnace. He rarely used a normal pill furnace to concoct pills, but that did not mean that he did not know how to do it. He placed the processed medicinal powder and crushed medicinal ingredients into the pill furnace. He directly used the Nether Sun Divine Flame to refine it. While refining, he also discovered that the remaining poison was very powerful. Fortunately, he could use the Nether Sun to directly break it down and then swallow it into the Nether Sun. Before 2 hours had passed, the few groups of alchemists who were exchanging pointers all finished concocting pills one after another. Qin Yun refined 2 pills. He and Qin Huayu each took one and swallowed them under everyone's supervision. As for the alchemists of the Thunder God Hall, the 9 Suns sect, the Primal Chaos race, and the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, they all ate 1 pellet each. The pellets they ate were refined from the heaven poison grass and soul-devouring flower that Qin Yun had provided. Chapter 2149. Qin Yun and Qin Huayu ate the pills refined from 4 types of toxic herbs and appeared to be completely fine. This surprised many people. "Is everyone all right?" someone asked doubtfully. "If there's nothing else, we can only enter the next round." These young alchemists are still quite impressive. The Qin Imperial clan's alchemists should be the best. The elder from the Primal Chaos tribe chuckled. Everyone might not know this, but those 4 highly toxic medicinal ingredients are all heavenly spirit poisons. Knowing that it was the heavenly spiritual god poison, all the alchemists present were visibly moved. The heavenly spiritual god poison was an innately poisonous herb. These herbs were mainly for poisonous beasts to eat. Some poisonous beasts needed to eat highly poisonous herbs in order to grow and strengthen their poison. Therefore, those venomous beasts would take great care of the sky spirit divine poison and use their inherent toxicity to strengthen the sky spirit divine poison. Generally speaking, the heavenly spirit god poison would only mature after being taken care of by the poisonous beast for many years, and it was also the most poisonous. If this poison was dropped into a huge lake, it would turn the entire lake black, turning it into a black poisonous quagmire. There were many records regarding this heavenly spirit divine poison, and many experts were afraid of those poisonous beasts. These 4 heavenly spirit divine poisons are extremely precious. To use them to test the level of the Qin Imperial clan's young alchemists, it can be seen how generous we are. The Thunder God's clear and bright laughter was heard. He deeply detested the people from the Qin Imperial clan. Just a moment ago, Qin Yun called him a dog with 3 surnames, but he couldn't teach Qin Yun a lesson. This made him lose all face. The Chaos Race's alchemist looked at Qin Yun and Qin Huayu and said with a smile, "Don't think that they are completely fine now. The poison has already entered their bones." The young alchemist from the Natural Law Divine Realm looked at Qin Yun and Qin Huayu as if he was looking at a dead person. He said with a smile, "No one can completely remove all the poison. Even if there is only a trace of the remaining heavenly spirit poison, they will definitely die." The medicine god's old face was slightly sorrowful as he sighed with melancholy. "The flower language girl is a good seedling. What a pity, what a pity!" The pill god beside him also patted his shoulder, comforting him. When the crowd heard what the medicine god said, they knew that the 2 alchemists from the Qin Imperial clan were done for. Even the divine alchemist was certain that Qin Yun and Qin Huayu were dead. That meant that the heavenly spirit god's poison was truly terrifying. A heavenly mother from the heavenly law sacred realm looked coldly at Granny Qianghua from midair. With a cold sneer, she said, "Qianghua, is this the level of your Qin Imperial clan? It's no wonder. After all, you're a clan that has fallen from grace. You're still fantasizing about restoring the strongest bloodline. How naive." Just as everyone believed that Qin Yun and Qin Huayu were about to die from the poison, an alchemist from the Thunder Divine Hall suddenly hugged his head and fell to the ground, convulsing. Following that, the young alchemists of the Nine Suns sect and the Natural Law Divine Realm all fell to the ground one after another. They all hugged their heads and screamed in pain, their bodies twitching non-stop. They looked like they were in extreme pain. Ah! Even the two powerful alchemists from the chaotic tribe let out painful screams. This scene left many alchemists of the older generation dumbfounded. The ones who were knocked down were not Qin Yun and Qin Huayu, but the other four groups of alchemists. The seniors at the side hurriedly took the antidote pills and rushed over to help cure the poison. However, it was of no use at all. Thunder God, who was in the air, suddenly shouted, "What's going on?" An old man from the Thunder Divine Hall was inspecting the situation of the disciples of the Thunder Divine Hall and replied, "Their souls are severely injured. The poison's power has already severely damaged their souls?" "What? They tore their souls apart? Didn't they sense anything before?" The Heavenly Emperor of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm asked anxiously. "The pain in their souls has been numbed. Only when it has been damaged to a certain extent and the numbing poison power has receded did they begin to notice it." After an old man from the Natural Law Divine Realm finished speaking, he glared at Qin Yun angrily. "This bastard is extremely vicious." Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. This kind of poison would only show signs after a person was deeply poisoned. This was simply terrifying. There was simply no time to cure the poison. Many old men were sweating profusely. They used all sorts of methods to help the young alchemists stabilize their situation, but it didn't seem to be of much use. The old man from the Nine Suns sect said with a sorrowful expression, "Their souls are all broken. If they want to completely recover, they will need to recuperate for many years." Even the alchemists of the primal chaos race were unable to escape. The injuries to the soul were the hardest to recover from, not to mention the fact that the soul was poisoned. What right do you have to say that others are vicious? You were just very proud of that heavenly spirit god poison. Qin Yun snorted and sneered. They are all alchemists, they are unable to remove the poison power. They can only blame themselves for eating the poison they refined and being poisoned. Granny Cheonghua, Dog God and the others who knew Qin Yun all secretly admired him. As expected of someone who could put down the poison god, his methods were brilliant. Just now, not only the Qin imperial clan, even the people from the other imperial clans felt very sad. They thought that Qin Huayu and Qin Yun were finished. But now, it seemed that the ones who were finished were the other alchemists. As for Qin Yun and Qin Huayu, they were completely fine and unscathed. The elders of the Nine Suns sect, Thunder God Hall, Heavenly Law Divine Realm, and the Primal Chaos race were all furious. "Then hurry up and help cure the poison." The old man from the Primal Chaos race angrily rebuked Qin Yun and released a very strong pressure. "I don't have a way to cure the poison." Qin Yun laughed. "I remember that the rules of this competition were set by you, right? Why didn't you think that the ones who would be in a desperate situation would be you?" The people who were watching the show all found it funny. The Primal Chaos race had really lifted a rock to hit their own feet. Everyone could tell that the Primal Chaos race had originally thought that victory was in their grasp with the heavenly spirit god poison. Furthermore, they were very confident that their alchemists would be safe and sound. They had completely underestimated their opponent. What was admirable was that Qin Yun and Qin Huayu had not been poisoned yet. They were standing there watching the show unscathed. "Then tell us, what poison did you use? Let us concoct the antidote." An old man from the Nine Suns sect shouted. "Heavenly poison grass and soul-devouring flower." The heavenly poison grass has a very strong paralyzing effect, and the soul-devouring flower is used to deal with the soul. Qin Yun said, "These two poisonous herbs are not particularly poisonous, right? Compared to your heavenly spirit god poison, they are far inferior." When the medicine god and the pill god heard this, they repeatedly exclaimed in admiration. The pill god exclaimed, "The soul-devouring flower's poison power will search for the soul on its own. Furthermore, it has a very strong devouring power. The soul-devouring flower must have devoured the heavenly poison grass's poison power and then entered the soul. In this way, when the soul-devouring flower's poison power devours the soul, it will produce a paralyzing effect, causing people to feel no pain." The medicine god said, "These two poisons are not very poisonous. Furthermore, they seem to have discovered that these two medicinal herbs have the effect of numbing and devouring the soul. However, they still fell for it. Some poisonous insects have a paralyzing poison power. When they bite, they can cause people to feel no pain. Then, they burrow into a person's body or suck blood for a long time without being detected. Qin Yun used this kind of thinking to use poison." Granny Cheonghua said with a smile, "The use of poison is ingenious. Even if it's not a deadly poison, it can still be fatal." The complexion of Thunder God and the others became incomparably unsightly. Everyone secretly sighed in admiration. Two seemingly not very poisonous poisons can actually have this kind of reaction. Before, everyone was very puzzled as to why a powerful woman like Xiao Yuelan from Guanghan Palace would marry a profound god. Now it seems that he is a very high-level young pill master. Although his level is not bad compared to other young pill masters, when compared to Qin imperial family, the difference between them is very clear. Many people are not satisfied, especially those pill masters who came to watch the Medicine King assembly. They all want to see Qin Yun's pill concoction technique. None of the people present are blind, they all know that Qin Yun is very secretive. He must have even more brilliant pill concoction techniques. They all want to broaden their horizons. However, there is no second round of pointers because the other four groups' pill masters have all been crippled. Even the primal chaos realm's pill master's soul could not withstand the torture and completely fainted. If they want to recover, it will take at least several decades. Xian Rujing and Xiang Yalan are together, they are laughing in their heart. Old Ginger is spicier. Qin Yun, who has the status of Nine-Sun Palace King and King of Gods, sparring with others is simply bullying people. From beginning to end, Xiao Yuelan's expression did not fluctuate at all. She is very clear about Qin Yun's strength, so she already anticipated the result. "You must be careful." Qin Huayu suddenly pulled Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan's hands, because the following battle will begin. From Qin imperial family's side, only Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan can fight. As for the other powers, they all have several people. Especially Primal Chaos Race, all 8 of them can strike the Primal Chaos Divine Drum, so they can all fight. "Sister Huayu, don't worry," Xiao Yuelan said with light smile. Qin Huayu is about to leave, all the elders in the plaza are also about to leave. Because during the battle, other people are not allowed to be on the battlefield to avoid being disturbed. In the sparring of alchemy, the alchemists of the other 4 factions had suffered great losses, and their souls had been severely injured. Then in the following battle, they will definitely get back at them. Their attacks will not be light. Everyone is looking forward to the battle even more. On Qin imperial family's side, there is only a husband and wife. The woman is from Guanghan Palace and the man is profound god. Moreover, he is also a pill master. Therefore, it is very important whether or not Qin imperial family can defend this final hurdle. If Qin imperial family wins, then what will Primal Chaos Race and Heavenly Law Divine Domain do next? Would the other imperial clans join hands with the Qin imperial clan to restore their 9 sons' bloodline? This is the question that many people are concerned about. Chapter 2150. On the Medicine King Plaza, on the Qin imperial clan side, there are only Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan, and they are fighting against the 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall. The Thunder God Hall is a power created by the Thunder God himself. Compared to the heavenly law divine domain and the nine suns sex, it is indeed a bit weaker. However, the strength of the Thunder God Hall's disciples is not weak. After all, those who can sound the primal chaos divine drum are all very strong. Now that the Qin Imperial clan is facing a challenge, they have to accept the challenges one after another. This is a test of their strength. If there was no primal chaos race, the pressure on the Qin Imperial clan would not be that great. However, with the primal chaos race here, the Qin Imperial clan does not plan to win. They only hope to unite and fight. Even if they lose, they must leave behind a deep impression of unity. This is the plan that the Qin Imperial clan's elders had discussed before. It can't be said to be good, but the most important thing is to awaken the unity of the other clans. They never expected that a primal chaos divine drum would completely destroy their previous plan. The 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall are all tall and mighty. They are wearing blue lightning divine armor and holding divine sabers. They are looking at Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon with fiendish expressions. In battle, weapons can be used. Generally speaking, when exchanging pointers, weapons are restricted. Now that they are allowed to use weapons, it was also proposed by the Primal Chaos race. The Primal Chaos race and the Heavenly Law Divine Domain have the best equipment. The Qin Imperial clan is definitely inferior to them, so they are not worried at all. The Qin Imperial clan feels that if they use equipment, they will not be lacking. At least, they can use divine talismans and the like to save their lives at a crucial moment. The Qin Imperial clan's elders gave Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon a lot of life-saving equipment. They won't be able to use it. In terms of equipment, Qin Yun can completely say that everyone here is trash. In this kind of battle, if you want to survive, you can only rely on yourself. If you are killed, that is your own problem. Thunder God's voice is filled with chilliness. Everyone can see that he is ordering the Thunder God Hall's disciples to kill Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon. If your people die, don't say that they are vicious. Granny Qianghua said with sneer. Thunder God said with sneer. Qianghua, you are already so old, yet you are still so naive? Fighting 2 against 5, it's already good enough that they can guarantee their own survival, yet they still want to kill the disciples of my Lightning God Hall? Everyone nodded in agreement. Not to mention the fact that the Qin Imperial clan was fighting 2 against 5, there was also a profound god among them. In terms of cultivation, there was an enormous gap. The crowd all felt that the Qin Imperial clan's young couple would be lucky to be able to keep their lives. Yet, they actually wanted to kill them. Thunder God Hall and the other faction's alchemists had their souls injured by Qin Yun earlier, so they hate Qin Yun very much. In battle, he would definitely be ruthless. If your disciple dies, don't make a fuss about it. Medicine King Qin mocked. You'll know once you fight them. You think you can win 2 against 5? If the disciples of my Lightning God Hall lose, I will personally cripple them. The Lightning God threatened. This meant that the 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall would attack Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon with all their might. The battle was about to begin, and within the boundary of the square, the murderous aura was getting thicker and thicker, and the atmosphere was very oppressive. Xiao Yuelon's expression gradually turned ice-cold. Her beautiful eyes turned blood-red, filled with a domineering, killing intent. You step back, I'll do it, Xiao Yuelon said coldly. All right. Qin Yun understood Xiao Yuelon's intention. Xiao Yuelon wanted him to preserve as much power as possible to deal with the 8 warriors of the Primal Chaos race. Xiao Yuelon, who has entered a state of slaughter, is extremely dreadful. Xiao Yuelon is wearing tight-fitting clothes, holding a snow-white long saber in her hand. Her ponytail is slightly fluttering along with the cold, murderous wind. She stood there as straight as a ramrod, tightly gripping her long saber. Her red eyes are filled with ruthless killing intent. A berserk killing intent whistled along with the wind, filling the battlefield's barrier, appearing incomparably dreadful. Even the 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall are somewhat afraid at this moment. Xiao Yuelon is a great god. The 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall are also great god realm. However, in terms of aura, Xiao Yuelon is far stronger than them. Outside the barrier, they can't sense Xiao Yuelon's dreadful killing intent, so they naturally don't know the situation inside the battlefield. The 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall secretly told themselves that their opponent is only a woman. They don't place the profound god Qin Yun in their eyes at all. Furthermore, they feel that their equipment is very powerful. Those are divine sabers that the Thunder God asked the Saber God to tailor-make for them. They are very strong in all aspects. They secretly gave themselves confidence and suppressed the fear that surfaced in their hearts. During battle, eliminating all kinds of negative emotions in one's heart is something that many warriors must master. Xiao Yuelon's red eyes are a pair of sacred eyes. They possess very strong mental attack power. Furthermore, because she is the 9-Sun Divine Maiden, she has mastered a very heaven-defying ability. Her ability is to copy other people's various strange powers. For example, Xiao Yuelon can also completely master some of the divine abilities that Qin Yun has mastered. They are still very powerful. Although Qin Yun is very confident in Xiao Yuelon's strength, he is still worried that his wife is going out to fight. Therefore, he is holding the small pistol that the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon has turned into. If necessary, he can kill one with one shot. Apart from this, his Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron is also ready at all times. In terms of equipment, no one here can compare to him. Humph, your man is indeed a useless guy. He only dares to hide behind you, a Thunder God Hall disciple said with sneer. All right, you will be the first to die. Xiao Yuelon looked at that disciple. Her voice is filled with ice-cold killing intent. Boom. The Primal Chaos Race Old Man in the sky beat the Primal Chaos Divine Drum. It means that the fight can begin. The moment the fight began, Xiao Yuelon's eyes shot out 2 red light beams towards the square-faced man who mocked Qin Yun earlier. After that man was hit by the red light beams, he immediately grabbed his head and screamed loudly. Everyone burst into an uproar. They did not expect that Xiao Yuelon's attack would cause a Thunder God Hall disciple to scream miserably. That's a sacred eye, moreover it has very strong mental attack power, someone shouted. The other 4 Thunder God Hall disciples immediately scattered and attacked Xiao Yuelon from 4 different directions. They did not engage in close combat. Instead they brandished their sabers and released Berserk Divine Power Saber energy. The battlefield immediately became filled with all kinds of tyrannical air whistling, as well as all kinds of light blades. What is shocking is that Xiao Yuelon is completely fine. On the surface of her body, there is a small red flame dragon coiling around her body. Fire Dragon Body Protection. This caused everyone to burst into cries of alarm. Is that the Divine Dragon Dao image? After the Divine Dragon Dao image fuses with the Xian God Dao veins, it can be released. No wonder she is so powerful, she actually cultivated this level of Divine Profound Dao image. This is a super first-rate Divine Profound Dao image. Everyone exclaimed in admiration and envy. Many people would be satisfied if they had a first-rate Divine Profound Dao image, let alone a super first-rate Divine Profound Dao image. 4 people besieged Xiao Yuelon, but they did not even manage to injure her clothes. Thunder God's expression is grave. He glanced at Granny Qianghua and cursed in his heart. Previously he thought that Granny Qianghua was just talking big. And now, he feels that Xiao Yuelon might be able to kill his Thunder God Hall disciples. Qin Imperial Clan's Qin family disciples all shouted loudly, cheering for Xiao Yuelon. Many Imperial Dragon Clan disciples are also secretly envious of Xiao Yuelon because even Imperial Dragon Clan's dragons or dragon men do not have Divine Dragon Dao image. You want to kill us with just this bit of ability? Xiao Yuelon coldly sneered. The fire dragon on her body suddenly roared. ferocious dragon might accompanied the flame wave and rushed out. The flame wave is like a dragon, it rushed towards the 4 Thunder God Hall disciples. The 4 Thunder God Hall disciples promptly retreated to block. And at this moment, Xiao Yuelon is already rushing towards the square-faced man who was hit by her sacred eye. After she arrived, her long saber sprayed out flames, her hand rose and the saber fell. The square-faced man directly turned into a burst of flame fragments and scattered. Thunder God Hall's great god disciple actually died just like that. Thunder God's expression greatly changed. He was just about to shout loudly and concede, but Xiao Yuelon's speed is incomparably fast. In a split second she jumped 4 times. Every time she landed in front of a Thunder God Hall disciple, she quickly brandished her saber. The 4 disciples of the Lightning God Hall were unable to move at all, because there was an invisible force pressing down on them. This is Qin Yun secretly releasing supergravity. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Yuelon's figure very quickly flashed beside those 4 Thunder God Hall disciples. Those 4 Thunder God Hall disciples were hacked into flame and scattered all over the ground. Seeing the flame fragments on the battlefield, the entire place became deathly quiet. The disciples of the Thunder God Hall are all wearing divine armors. Even if a very powerful divine weapon were to hack at them, it shouldn't have shattered to such a state. Everyone looked at the saber in Xiao Yuelon's hand and could not see anything. Xiao Yuelon's saber is not simple. It has been tempered in the heart of the moon. Furthermore, there are very strong inscription masters in the Guanghan Palace. Their weapons are not weak. The 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall have all been killed. This scared the people of the Heavenly Law Divine Domain and the 9 Suns sects to the point of secretly feeling fear. Next, will it be the Heavenly Law Divine Domain or the people from the 9 Suns sects who will come to their deaths? Xiao Yuelon's red eyes looked at the group of people outside the barrier and said coldly, "If you want to die, then hurry up and come. I will give you all a quick death." They are both at the great god realm, but the disparity is actually so great. The scene also erupted into a heated discussion. Many people felt that it was not because Xiao Yuelon's weapon was powerful, because her movement speed is very fast and her divine power is very strong. Otherwise, no matter how powerful a weapon is, without enough power to activate it, it would not be able to split apart those divine armors. There are many seniors present. They can tell with a glance that Xiao Yuelon is a person with many Tao images. The so-called many Tao images meant that there were more than 3 divine profound Tao images. Generally speaking, this kind of person's divine power was even stronger. Hurry up and attack, don't waste time. Grandma Qianghua, who is in the air, shouted softly. Chapter 2151. The Natural Law Divine Realm and the 9 Suns sect were both famous and powerful forces in the Divine Wasteland, but they were actually ridiculed in public. It was one thing if they couldn't win in terms of elixirs, but now they were about to lose in a battle. Furthermore, this was in a situation where they had the advantage in numbers. One must know that there were only 2 people on the Qin Imperial clan's side. Furthermore, one of them was a profound god. What are you showing off for? The person who defeated the Lightning God Hall is your wife. She comes from the Moon God World's Moon Guanghan. What does that have to do with you? It can be said that she possesses great strength and has nothing to do with the Qin Imperial clan. The old man from the Natural Law Divine Realm who was floating in the air retorted. An old lady from the 9 Suns sect also sneered. In terms of battle, the Qin Imperial clan can only rely on their women. Yet, they're actually proud of that. Thunder God also snorted and said, "In the alchemy competition just now, it was Qin Huayu who contributed the most. After all, she is the medicine god's disciple. Sure enough, the Qin Imperial clan relies on women. Xiao Yuelon knows that if Qin Yun takes action, nothing will happen to her. She knew that Qin Yun was very strong, but she didn't know how strong he was. Even Qin Yun didn't know how strong he was. Are you guys going or not? Xiao Yuelon looked at the people from the natural law divine realm and the Nine Suns sect and shouted, "If you don't want to go, then scram. Don't waste time." A heavenly mother from the natural law divine realm said, "How about this, since you are so strong and so fond of fighting, how about our natural law divine realm and the Nine Suns sect attack together?" The natural law divine realm had 6 people, while the Nine Suns sect had 1 woman and 4 men. If they were to attack together, it would be 11 people. As for the Qin Imperial clan, there were only 2 people. The reason for that was because Qin Yun was a profound god. Furthermore, he had not fought earlier. Therefore, no one counted him in. Xiao Yuelon alone had to face 11 great gods. Even if it was someone with many Tao images, the pressure would still be great. Furthermore, the people from the natural law divine realm and the Nine Suns sect already knew that Xiao Yuelon was very strong. When they went on stage, they would definitely be prepared. For example, they could use divine talismans or other Dharma treasures to bombard the area. That would definitely be very effective. It's good that all of you die together. You can have more companions. Xiao Yuelon sneered and said, "Then all of you can attack together." The woman from the Nine Suns sect gripped her sword with both hands and wore red battle armor. She coldly shouted, "Don't think that just because you're from the Moon Palace you're invincible. You'll die a miserable death." Hearing that Xiao Yuelon had agreed to allow the Nine Suns sect and the Heavenly Law Divine Realm to attack together, everyone was overjoyed. If the Nine Suns sect and the Natural Law Divine Realm were to cower, then there would be one less show to watch. Many people wanted to see just how strong this woman from the Guanghan Palace was, and whether or not she could defeat the 11 people from the Nine Suns sect and the Natural Law Divine Realm. Very quickly, the 11 people from the Nine Suns sect and the Natural Law Divine Realm arrived at the battlefield. Just like before, Qin Yun stood at the back and watched quietly. He had no intention of making a move. Everyone ignored him, because they all felt that profound God had no room to interfere in this kind of great God-level battle. Regardless of whether it was the strength of his divine power, the divine power he had stored up, or his physical body, the profound God was far inferior to the great God. What they did not know was that Qin Yun was a person with many Tao images, and he even had 9 divine profound Tao images. The divine power of the 9 divine profound Tao images erupted together. It was extremely powerful, and even Qin Yun's body could not withstand it. Xiao Yuelon wanted Qin Yun to conserve his strength to deal with the primal chaos race, so she did not let him take action. The primal chaos divine drum suddenly shook. The battle began. The moment the battle began, the 11 people suddenly spread out to the side of the plaza and threw a large pile of divine talismans at Xiao Yuelon. Boom! 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 In the center of the plaza, all sorts of flames and lightning exploded. Wave after wave, they exploded crazily and tyrannically. There were also many divine talisman weapons and magic treasures that flew in and were controlled by people to attack Xiao Yuelon. No one was surprised. This was all within everyone's expectations. They only felt that the scene was rather shocking. There were also some people who felt their hearts ache because those divine talismans were all extremely expensive. At this moment, in order to deal with a single person, they were all thrown out. Xiao Yuelon is very strong. In a very short period of time, she killed a few great gods of the Thunder God Hall. Therefore, the disciples of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm and the Nine Suns sects immediately used all sorts of divine talismans and magic treasures. As long as they could injure Xiao Yuelon and consume her power, then they would be able to win this battle. Qin Yun used his heavenly eye to look at the center of the explosion. When he saw Xiao Yuelon's divine Moon Dao image come out and float in the air, he felt incomparably relieved. As for the divine Dragon Dao image, it coiled around her body, forming a very strong defense that blocked all kinds of berserk attacks. Xiao Yuelon said before that they all had 6 divine profound Tao images. Now, she only released 2 divine profound Tao images, which was enough to protect herself. The people of the heavenly law divine realm and the 9 sons sects only had 3 divine profound Tao images. They were far inferior to Xiao Yuelon. That woman is finished, quickly go and get rid of that profound god brat. A heavenly emperor from the heavenly law divine realm suddenly shouted. The 6 people from the heavenly law divine realm immediately flew towards Qin Yun. All of them had sinister smiles on their faces. The purple-gold divine universe swords in their hands overflowed with divine power as they pierced towards Qin Yun. Just as they flew over and were about 10 meters away from Qin Yun, they felt their bodies suddenly become incomparably heavy. It was as if there was a huge mountain in their bodies. They were unable to handle the weight for a moment and their bodies fiercely smashed to the ground. This was the supergravity that Qin Yun had released. In the middle of the plaza that was filled with violent flames and lightning, a figure suddenly flashed out. Xiao Yuelon came out. Without the continuous attacks of the 6 people from the heavenly law divine realm, the pressure on Xiao Yuelon immediately lessened and she was able to free herself. The entire audience burst into shouts. Xiao Yuelon was actually completely fine. Xiao Yuelon, who had rushed out, swept past the 6 people from the heavenly law divine realm. At the same time, the saber in her hand also swiftly chopped down, turning all 6 of them into flame fragments. After killing the 6 people from the heavenly law divine realm, Xiao Yuelon suddenly disappeared. With an extremely fast speed, she charged towards the 5 disciples of the 9 sons sect. When Xiao Yuelon went over, the 5 disciples had already recovered from their shock. However, just as they reacted, their souls were attacked by the red light released by Xiao Yuelon's sacred eye. After they let out a blood-curdling screech, their bodies were chopped into pieces by Xiao Yuelon's long saber. Xiao Yuelon's attacks were fast and ruthless. In just a short span of 2 to 3 moments, she had killed all the people from the heavenly law divine realm and the 9 sons sect. Qin Yun smiled slightly because this was not Xiao Yuelon's full strength. He felt a lot more at ease now because he was worried that Xiao Yuelon would not be able to deal with the primal chaos race. But now, it seems that Xiao Yuelon possessed this kind of strength. Although Thunder God looked furious on the surface, he felt a lot more at ease in his heart. This was because the disciples of the heavenly law divine realm and the 9 sons sect had also been annihilated. The 5 disciples of the Thunder God Hall did not die alone. The tens of thousands of spectators around the plaza were all in an uproar. The souls of the Thunder God Hall, the 9 sons sect and the heavenly law divine realm were crippled and the warriors died without a complete corpse. Only those who did not sound the primal chaos divine drum were spared. Of course, the next ones to fight would be the 8 people from the primal chaos race. The 2 women and 6 men from the primal chaos race seemed to be very powerful warriors. When they struck the primal chaos divine drum, they could produce a very strong sound. When they saw Xiao Yuelon's strength, their faces still had a faint look of disdain. Because in their eyes, no matter how powerful she was still a lowly ordinary human. Grandma Qianghua suddenly shouted, "Enough, we admit defeat! Admit defeat!" The Qin imperial clan actually wanted to admit defeat. Medicine King Qin said, "Our Qin imperial clan knows our limits. We know very well that our young people are no match for the primal chaos race. Not to mention us, who here can compare to the primal chaos race." In the eyes of the Qin imperial clan's older generation, being able to defeat the heavenly law divine realm, 9 sons sect and Thunder God Hall is already a great victory. Everyone knows how terrifying the primal chaos race is. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon are both very outstanding youngsters. The Qin imperial clan's older generation do not want these 2 youngsters to suffer any losses. Our people came from afar to participate in the Medicine King assembly. If you say you won't fight, it's not up to you. The old man from the primal chaos race furiously said. Primal chaos race, we know that one of your royal grandchildren died. However, that was done by a nameless god race. You can't vent your anger on us. Medicine King Qin said with sneer. It has nothing to do with this matter. Our primal chaos race is seriously preparing to participate in your Medicine King assembly and exchange pointers with your Qin Imperial clan's disciples. Yet you are fooling us like this. The old man from the primal chaos race coldly said. If you really don't want to exchange pointers with us, then our primal chaos race can only fight with your Qin Imperial clan. The war has begun. Qin Yun suddenly said from below. The real reason why we don't want to exchange pointers with your youngsters is not because we can't defeat you but because we are afraid that after we kill your youngsters, you old guys will act shamelessly and start a war with the Qin Imperial clan. What did you say? A middle-aged man from the primal chaos race shouted explosively from the sky. Although they are separated by a barrier, the sound wave caused the entire Medicine King city to tremble. I said, we will kill your primal chaos race's youngsters. At that time, you will become angry and start a war with our Qin Imperial clan. Qin Yun calmly replied to the anger of the primal chaos race's people. Your primal chaos race's royal grandson was clearly killed by a nameless god race, yet you want to attack the Qin Imperial clan. If you aren't acting shamelessly, then what are you? Xiao Yuelon said in cold voice. We admit defeat, we will not exchange pointers with your youngsters, you will start a war with us. And if we exchange pointers with your youngsters and accidentally kill your youngsters, you will also start a war with us. Qin Yun laughed and said, Tell me, what exactly does your primal chaos race want? Chapter 2152. A chaotic race youth in the square pointed at Qin Yun and shouted, Shut up! An ignorant lowly race like you knows nothing about the power of our chaos god race. Qin Yun didn't even look at him. His disregard made the youth from the Chaos Clan even angrier. My words are very clear. In this battle, the primal chaos race will definitely suffer casualties. Even though you are very confident that there won't be any casualties, we are also confident that we can cause casualties to you. Qin Yun said. What he wanted was a promise from the primal chaos clan. Otherwise, regardless of whether they won or lost, their Qin Imperial clan would still be attacked by the primal chaos clan. The Qin Imperial clan was currently developing quite well. If they were to be split apart after the Medicine King alliance, it would be very difficult for them to unite again in the future. The old man from the primal chaos clan narrowed his eyes and sneered. You want us to promise not to attack the Qin Imperial clan? Qin Yun looked at Grandma Qianghua in the sky and nodded. That's right. Sign a soul contract and agree that regardless of the outcome, you will immediately leave the Qin Medicine Royal City. Furthermore, the entire Primal Chaos clan will not attack anyone from the Qin Imperial clan. A middle-aged man from the Primal Chaos clan burst into loud laughter. Truly naive. If your Qin Imperial clan were to provoke us in the future, would we not be able to attack you? We won't provoke you. Grandma Qianghua said. That won't do either. Within the gods' wilderness, the various forces are all vying for territory. It's inevitable that there will be some conflicts in the future. If we promise not to do anything to you guys, should we, the Primal Chaos race, have no choice but to endure any conflicts in the future? The old man from the Primal Chaos race said. Medicine King Qin said. Your Primal Chaos race is so powerful, if you want to attack us, no one can stop you. Young people are more irascible, and when they fight, it is inevitable that there will be casualties. If your young people are really killed or injured, will you not take action? Everyone could understand the Qin Imperial clan's worries. However, the Primal Chaos race felt that it was ridiculous. The Primal Chaos youth shouted, Don't be arrogant, our Primal Chaos race will not lose to you. Moreover, they won't be killed or injured by you. Xiao Yuelon sneered. Since you are so confident that you won't lose, why are you fighting us? Isn't that unnecessary? Xiao Yuelon's words immediately caused everyone to whisper and nod. The Primal Chaos Clan believed themselves to be undefeatable, and the Qin Imperial Clan also believed themselves to be no match for the Primal Chaos Clan. Thus, they decided to concede and not fight. However, the Primal Chaos race insisted that he take the field. Wasn't this contradictory? Very well, we promise that we will not attack your Qin Imperial Clan for the next 3 years. That old man from the Primal Chaos Clan seemed to possess enormous authority. Likely, he possessed a certain amount of authority. Are you using your life as a guarantee? Asked Qin Yun. That's right. I will use my soul to sign the contract. If the chaotic tribe attacks you within 3 years, my soul will be destroyed. The old man said coldly. Then what is your status in the Primal Chaos race? Xiao Yuelon said with a look of disdain. If your status was very low, who would care about your life and death? The old man revealed a slightly angry expression and said proudly, I am one of the 8 kings of the Primal Chaos race, the Chaos Fire King, Xia Shenhua. The members of the Primal Chaos race rarely came out, so it was normal that they did not know them. The elders of the other factions stared at the old man in horror. They knew that he was very strong, but they had never expected him to be one of the 8 monarchs of the Chaos tribe. Qin Yun is somewhat doubtful because the Chaos Fire King in front of him does not give off a particularly strong feeling. Back then, the Primal Chaos race he met in the Ancient Desolate was extremely terrifying. A child was able to hang up and beat up a sacred god like him. Although the Primal Chaos race here are also very strong, they are far inferior to the Primal Chaos race from the Ancient Desolate. Could it be that the Primal Chaos race from the Ancient Desolate has been sealed and can't come to the Divine Desolate? Qin Yun also doesn't know how to go to the Ancient Desolate. Soon after, Xia Shenhua signed a soul contract with Medicine King Qin and Granny Qianghua. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon felt relieved when they saw the soul contract was signed. Otherwise, they would definitely have their hands and feet tied when fighting. If they truly killed those young geniuses of the Primal Chaos race, the Primal Chaos race might really attack. At that time, the unification of the Imperial race and the restoration of their bloodline would all become floating clouds. Do you want to attack together? Xiao Yuelon looked at the 8 youths of the Primal Chaos race. The 8 youths entered the barrier with mocking smiles on their faces. Because in their opinion, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon will definitely be tortured miserably by them. They are not really arrogant. The main reason is that they have fought with many powerful races of the Divine Desolate. Within the same level, they are practically invincible. Even the dragons of the Imperial Dragon Clan cannot defeat them. In their eyes, within the same level, only the dragons of the Imperial Dragon Clan are the strongest. The other races are all trash. Xiao Yuelon is the 9-Sun Divine Maiden. Her soul is born with a very strong ability, allowing her to cultivate extremely powerful divine power. Therefore, she is also extremely confident. What big words! Not to mention the 8 of us attacking together, any one of us would not be able to withstand it, a youth said with sneer. Among the 8 people of the Primal Chaos race, the youth in the lead is the strongest. This man has a sharp and fair face, a pair of ice-cold eyes and a grave and stern aura. He is wearing a white gown and within his handsomeness, he is also rather callous. Qin Yun can tell with a glance that this man is definitely a royal grandson. It is extremely likely that he is the grandson of the Primal Chaos Fire King. At this time, Qin Yun also looked at the Primal Chaos Fire King. You are a royal grandson, right? Qin Yun asked. That's right, my name is Xia Yang. Don't worry, I will try my best to be merciful and won't hurt your wife, because I have already decided to make her my female slave. Xia Yang laughed coldly. As for you, I will let you die a bit more happily. Qin Yun's expression suddenly turned cold. This Xia Yang actually dared to have such thoughts about Xiao Yuelan. Among the 8 people of the primal chaos race, there is only one woman. She is also quite beautiful, but in front of Xiao Yuelan, she is inferior by a lot. Xia Yang, you must remember that our primal chaos race cannot let a woman from another race borrow a seed to give birth. You can only play with that woman, you can never let her get pregnant. The woman looked at Xiao Yuelan with a sinister expression and said, "No matter how strong this kind of woman is, she is still lowly and only worthy to be a female slave." Xia Yang laughed sinisterly a few times. "Don't worry, this kind of woman is not worthy of me playing with. After all, she is someone else's woman. But I will bestow it to someone else." Qin Yun's anger rose in his heart. He secretly clenched his fists and looked at Xia Yang and the primal chaos race woman with a cold gaze filled with killing intent. The other primal chaos race people also laughed loudly. In the eyes of the primal chaos race, other races are all lowly. You husband and wife will soon be separated by life and death. I will make that woman from the Guang Han Palace the best female slave. Xia Yang looked at Qin Yun and laughed loudly. "One-eyed dragon, weren't you very arrogant before? What, now you don't even dare to fart?" The woman from the primal chaos race sneered and said, "Xia Yang, I think he is so scared that he doesn't dare to speak." Qin Yun looked at the primal chaos fire king in the sky and said coldly, "Primal chaos fire king, sound the drum and begin. But before that, I want to tell you that you are about to lose a descendant." Xia Shenhua sneered and said, "Lowly fellow, you are about to die, yet you are still so arrogant. However, since you can see the most powerful race in the divine desolate before you die, your death is worth it." He took out the primal chaos divine drum and fiercely beat it. 7 of the 8 people from the primal chaos race retreated to the side. Only Xia Yang stood up. Xia Yang proudly stood with his hands behind his back. He looked at Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan and shouted, "Our primal chaos race will not bully lowly people like you. I alone can take care of you." He looked at Xiao Yuelan and shouted again, "You, if you don't want your man to die in pain, kneel down, crawl over and lick my shoes clean." Xiao Yuelan's brows knitted together. She has seen many arrogant people, but never this kind of person. In the sky, Xian Rujing, Star God and the other Guang Han Palace people are very worried because primal chaos race is indeed very strong. They have seen how strong they are. And although Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are very strong, they are few in number. Only Lu Yu, Shuyan, Dog God and the others are not worried. Especially Dog God. They know that Qin Yun killed a primal chaos race royal grandson, as well as many primal chaos race expert. The Qin imperial clan's elders are preparing to open the barrier at any time to prevent Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan from being killed. Seeing Xia Yang speak such arrogant words, no one else found it strange. Because they believe that Xia Yang, the royal grandson, has the qualifications to say such words. What are you still standing there for? Quickly do as I say." The primal chaos race woman furiously shouted at Xiao Yuelan, "You slut, don't you understand my words?" Xiao Yuelan is already extremely angry, but she knows that Qin Yun is even more furious than her. Xiao Yuelan, whose face is ice cold, suddenly moved. She did not attack, instead she retreated. Xiao Yuelan retreated to the side of the stage. When facing the heavenly law divine domain, Thunder God Hall and 9 sun sects, it was Qin Yun who retreated to the side. But now, facing the strongest primal chaos race, it is Xiao Yuelan who retreated to the side and let Qin Yun, the profound god, fight. Everyone is puzzled and whispered. When facing a strong enemy, it is actually the great god Xiao Yuelan who retreated and let a profound god realm alchemist fight. This caused many people to be unable to understand. What is this couple doing? Could it be that the one-eyed dragon is stronger than the girl from the Guang Han Palace? Medicine God said in shock. Forget about profound God, even a heavenly god might not be able to defeat that royal grandson, right? Pill God shook his head. Thunder God said with sneer, "Some people are overconfident and have this kind of performance. That guy definitely doesn't know how to write the word death." Chapter 21:53. Even Xia Yang is stunned for a moment, then he raised his head and laughed loudly. "You guys are truly laughable. Since that is the case, I can only send you on your way." Qin Yun slowly rolled up his sleeves and said indifferently, "Primal Chaos Race people, do you know which race is the strongest race in God Desolate?" "Nonsense, of course it is our Primal Chaos Race," Xia Yang said with sneer. "Humph. If your Primal Chaos Race was really strong, you wouldn't have been killed so miserably by the Nameless God Race," Qin Yun said with sneer. "It is clear that your Primal Chaos God Race is only SOSO," Xia Yang said in cold voice. "The Nameless God Race is very strong because they sent very strong experts to deal with our younger generation. Moreover, they used sneak attack. Our Primal Chaos Race is invincible among people of the same level." "You are wrong, the strongest race in God Desolate is not your Primal Chaos Race," Qin Yun said unhurriedly. It is clear that he is very calm. "You want to say that the Nameless God Race is stronger than our Primal Chaos Race? Are you trying to destroy our confidence?" Primal Chaos Fire King Xia Shenhua said with sneer. "The entire Nameless God Race has less than 100 people. Do you know the reason? Wasn't it because we killed them? The strongest race in God Desolate is our Primal Chaos Race. It is our Primal Chaos Race. The Nameless God Race has less than 100 people." Qin Yun is secretly alarmed, but he still laughed loudly and said, "The strongest in God Desolate is naturally the Nine Sun Royal Race." Xia Yang also laughed loudly and said, "Nine Sun Royal Race? They have been dead for God knows how many years. Your Qin Imperial Race is just a Nine Sun Royal Race with incomplete bloodline, yet you still dream of being a powerful race. Fine, today I will let you see how strong Nine Sun Royal Race is." Qin Yun looked at Xia Yang and said with faint smile, "I have awakened the complete Nine Sun bloodline. You are lucky enough to see how strong Nine Sun Royal Race is. Your death is worth it." "What? Nine Sun Royal Race's complete bloodline?" All the big shots of the Imperial Race are completely shocked. There are many holy god experts from Darkness Royal Race here. They also find it hard to believe. Even Granny Qianghua and Medicine King Qin are scared by Qin Yun's words. Not only them, even Xian Rujing, Lu Yu, Shu Yan and other women from Guanghan Palace, as well as Dog Deity and the others are all emotionally moved. Only Xiao Yuelon knew that Qin Yun was lying. When Qin Yun was immortal King Fuyun, he was a great swindler. Right now, Qin Yun was also taking advantage of this opportunity to swindle them. Only by doing so would he be able to make the other imperial clans desire powerful bloodlines and ally together. At the same time, he could hide his true strength. If Qin Yun could really defeat the Chaos Race's royal grandson, others would think that it was because he possessed the Nine Yang royal family's bloodline. "Xia Yang, attack and kill him." Xia Shenhua's expression is gloomy. Clearly, he believes Qin Yun's words and shouted, "He must be eliminated." Xia Shenhua already felt threatened. If Qin Yun really exploded with a very strong power and defeated Xia Yang, then the other imperial clans would definitely join forces and awaken their strongest Nine Sun bloodline through the myriad realms. Divine Sunday Xia Yang roared, and a powerful gray divine power gushed out of his body. The earth immediately shook violently. The gray divine power seemed to be roaring, emitting waves of trembling sounds. Even with the barrier separating them, the people outside could still feel the terror of the chaos divine power. Xia Yang is now like a powerful devil god. He looked at Qin Yun with a deep roar and walked towards him step by step. With every step he took, the earth produced a boom sound. Moreover, it is a very fierce tremor. "Weak lowly bastard, do you see? We are the strongest." Xia Yang laughed wildly. Qin Yun's body suddenly shook. He used heaven's might tyrant body. A vast and mighty heavenly might power emerged. The expressions of the other 7 primal chaos youths changed slightly because they have never felt this kind of heavenly might before. They only felt an indescribable fear. Qin Yun used heaven's might tyrant body because he wants to use even more power. Only by doing so can his body withstand the formidable explosion of divine power. Yuner, double nether sun. Qin Yun shouted in his heart. Ling Yuner is already prepared. After Qin Yun used heaven's might tyrant body, she controlled the 2 nether suns and released a very formidable power. The power of the double nether sun formed a supergravity that pressed down on Xia Yang's body. Xia Yang's body erupted with a very strong chaos divine power. He walked towards Qin Yun step by step, but now he suddenly stopped. Xia Yang's expression changed slightly because he felt a very strong power pressing down on his body. After stopping, Xia Yang's expression gradually turned unsightly. Everyone present cried out in alarm because they could see that Xia Yang was attacked by an invisible power. Ah! Xia Yang roared and suddenly lowered his head. He was pressed down by a very strong supergravity and had no choice but to lower his head. Boom! Xia Yang finally couldn't bear it anymore. His knees suddenly collapsed and he was pressed to the ground. Everyone was shocked by this scene. Qin Imperial Clan's profound god actually made Primal Chaos Race's great god realm royal grandson lower his head and kneel. Xia Yang! Xia Shenhua suddenly shouted. He also can't believe what is happening in front of him. Their Primal Chaos Race despises any other race and are invincible in the same level. But right now, their great god is being suppressed by a profound god. Qin Yun took a step forward, put 2 fingers together, and pointed at Xia Yang's head, and said with a sneer, "You are much worse than the Primal Chaos Race I have seen." After he finished speaking, heaven-exploding finger power surged out. Boom! An earth-shaking explosion rang out. Xia Yang's head and body were penetrated by the index power and his entire body was torn apart. This scene caused everyone to feel incomparably shocked. The Primal Chaos Race's royal grandson, who is also a great god, was actually killed by a profound god in one move. Xia Yang is much weaker than Qin Yun imagined. This is not the Primal Chaos Race he is familiar with. He thought that the Primal Chaos Race he met here would be as terrifying as the ancient Desolate. But he never expected that in his eyes, they are only slightly stronger than ordinary people. After Qin Yun killed Xia Yang, he suddenly looked at the Primal Chaos Race woman. Just now, this woman spoke rudely to Xiao Yuelan. At the same time he looked over, a super-gravity followed his gaze and attacked. The gravity turned into a sword and whizzed over. Xiao! A sharp whistling sound rushed through the air and pierced through the woman's head in an instant. That woman is also a great god. Qin Yun only glanced at her and actually killed her. Just what kind of terrifying power is that? The nether sun roared and the gravity is like the sky. It fiercely fell and pressed down on the other 6 Primal Chaos Race people, directly pressing them to the ground. Qin Yun's figure rushed over like lightning. His palm is like a wild blade as it swept across the few Primal Chaos Race youths. In a split second, violent thunder poured out like a waterfall. It is as if mighty heavenly thunder surged like a huge wave, accompanied by a ferocious vibration. It landed on those people's bodies. This is the heavenly quake and thunder collapse of the heavenly extermination 9 style. When these 2 moves are combined into one, their power is incomparably shocking. The 6 Primal Chaos Race youths were directly blasted into ashes. The 8 Primal Chaos Race youths are no longer on the stage. They all died without an intact corpse. Qin Yun let out a light breath. He only felt some pain in his body. Just now, he used nearly 80% of his power. Even if he used Heavenly Might Tyrant Body and Heavenly Tenacious Tao Technique to strengthen his body, it is still somewhat unbearable. He also doesn't know why his divine power is so strong. It far exceeds what his body can endure. He suspects that it is related to his ninth god profound Tao image. His ninth god profound Tao image is very mysterious. It does not have any form, but it is very powerful. This is the power of the Nine Sun bloodline. Qin Yun's expression is cold. His calm voice spread in all directions. The spectators in the plaza fell into a period of silence. After hearing Qin Yun's voice, they suddenly burst into thunderous shouts and discussions. The Nine Sun bloodline has reappeared in the Nine Desolate. How shocking is this? Many of the powerful races in the Divine Desolate are now feeling fear. Especially the Primal Chaos race. They are no longer the strongest race. The Nine Sun royal race that once dominated the 3,000 heavenly domains, is it coming back? The Divine Desolate was formed by the merging of the 10,000 heavenly realms. Many of the previous heavenly domains know how terrifying the Nine Sun royal race is. The ones who are the most excited are none other than the imperial race's families. They saw hope in Qin Yun. Previously, they thought that the Qin clan's emperor was tricking them, so they did not believe that the Nine Sun royal race bloodline could reappear. But now, the Qin imperial clan really has a disciple of the Qin clan who has recovered his bloodline. The reason why I am where I am today is because of the Qin imperial clan's unity. They used all their strength to restore my bloodline through the myriad realms' divine sons. Qin Yun said with a clear voice, the Nine Suns royal clan will rise again. Even the Qin imperial clan's older generations were stupefied. They had never done such a thing before. Those imperial race elders are all extremely excited. They have already decided to ally with the Qin imperial clan and work together to restore the imperial race bloodline. Xia Shenhua's face is twitching. His eyes exploded with sharp killing intent as he stared coldly at Qin Yun below. Xia Yang was his descendant, but he was killed by Qin Yun. Furthermore, he died at the hands of a Nine Sun royal race. In this Medicine King assembly, the Primal Chaos race suffered the most casualties. The young people of the Qin imperial clan and the other imperial race clans are all cheering. Qin Huayu is very puzzled because she knows very well that Qin Yun came from the lower realms and has just joined the Qin clan. How can he have the royal race bloodline? Moreover, it was restored with the help of the Qin imperial clan's elders? Granny Qianghua is also secretly suspecting whether or not the Qin imperial clan's elders are hiding it from her and secretly helping Qin Yun recover his bloodline. Even Xian Rujing and the others believe that Qin Yun has truly recovered his Nine Sun royal race bloodline. That is why he is so powerful. Xia Shenhua became silent for a while, then let out a furious roar and left. If he doesn't leave, what else can he do? Thunder God said coldly. Even if it is the Nine Sun royal race, they must follow the rules of the Myriad Realms' divine court. Your Qin imperial clan shouldn't be arrogant. Don't rely on your powerful bloodline to run amok. This will only make you the public enemy. After Thunder God finished speaking, he was about to leave, but Qin Yun suddenly rushed up. Thunder God, don't be in such a rush to leave. I have a debt that I want to settle with you. Qin Yun said. What? You still want to challenge me? Thunder God looked at Qin Yun. His furious eyes flickered with lightning. Chapter 2154. The moment the Chaos Race left, Qin Yun flew out to attack Thunder God. Furthermore, he said such arrogant words, saying that he would take Thunder God's life. If not for the fact that they had seen how Qin Yun had killed the Chaos Royal grandson, everyone would have been amused by his extremely arrogant words. At this moment, no one dared to laugh at him. When Qin Yun killed the Chaos Race's royal grandson, he had done it very easily and quickly. This meant that he was still hiding a very powerful strength. However, many people still felt that it was impossible for Qin Yun to defeat Thunder God. After all, Thunder God is a very powerful sacred god. one of the 4 guardian gods of the myriad realms' divine court. The thunder god was not weak. He was an old god who had lived for many years. "What did you say?" the thunder god said in a low voice. His voice contained killing intent. Even he was surprised that this Qin imperial clan's 9 sons' bloodline would dare to provoke him. "I said, I want to take your life. Are you going to deliver yourself to me, or do you want me to do it for you?" Qin Yun was not afraid of Thunder God at all as he explained his actions once again. Granny Qianghua, Medicine King Qin, Fire King Qin, Alchemy King Qin, and many of the Qin imperial clan's older generations immediately rushed over. At the same time, powerful auras started to pour in from outside the city. The Qin clan's emperor was a sacred god. Now that the chaotic race had left, they didn't have to wait outside for the battle to start. They naturally had to protect the disciples with the 9 sons' bloodline. Qin Yun also used this reason to see if he could take down Thunder God this time. The divine chief was also incomparably surprised. He said, "Little brother, if there's anything, we can properly discuss it. Your Qin imperial clan has just resolved a crisis. Could it be that you wish to involve yourself in another crisis?" "It's not that I want to get involved in the crisis, but Thor really deserves to die," Qin Yun said coldly. "Thunder God has repeatedly used vicious means to control many deity positions. He even snatched the deity positions. Why aren't your myriad realms' divine court cleaning up a fellow like him? Why are you protecting him?" Hearing Qin Yun's words, everyone immediately distanced themselves from Qin Yun and the divine judges group, because it is very likely that a fight is about to break out. Everyone had more or less heard of Thunder God's evil deeds, but no one had ever dared to expose them. "Don't slander me." Thunder God coldly looked at Qin Yun. "Poison God is your subordinate. He often poisons others and uses detoxification to threaten others," Qin Yun said with sneer. "The god of poison is already dead. Even if such a thing really happened, it is the god of poison's own doing. I have never instructed him to do anything evil." Thunder God furiously said, "You have no evidence yet you are slandering me. Don't think that just because you have the 9-son bloodline, I won't dare to make a move against you." The divine judge remained silent. Many powerful gods of the divine court of myriad realms were well aware of Thunder God's little trick. However, they felt that it was just a small matter. Qin Yun saw that the divine preceptor didn't speak and said with sneer, "You know the evil god, right?" He was in charge of the heavenly evil district and established the heavenly evil sect there, helping the evil demons turn over a new leaf. The Thunder God stepped on his head and forced him to sign a soul contract to become the Thunder God's slave. Thunder God's eyebrows twitched. He thought of many things. The Rain God and the Serpent God had gone missing in the 8 Evil Ridge, and the evil god in charge of the heavenly evil district had also gone missing. He suddenly suspected that this matter might be related to the one-eyed dragon in front of him. "This is all your side of the story," Thunder God said coldly. "If you continue to slander me like this, don't blame me for being impolite." Medicine King Qin said, "Thunder God, if you dare to make a move, try and see." Grandma Qianghua said with sneer, "If you dare to make a move, don't even think of leaving Qin Medicine King City alive." "Good, your Qin imperial clan has a young man who has recovered his 9-son bloodline and is already so arrogant. He doesn't even put the divine preceptor in his eyes. Your 9 sons' royal family is truly a ferocious clan. No wonder your clan was exterminated." Thunder God laughed angrily. At this moment, the Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm also flew over. Furthermore, they brought a group of powerful heavenly beings with them. With a glance, it is clear that they want to stand on the Thunder God's side. The 9 sons' sects are the same. They are all on the same side as the Thunder God. Xiao Yuelan also arrived behind Qin Yun. She was previously besieged by the poison god sent by the Thunder God, as well as the heavenly law divine realm and the primal chaos race. If not for the protection of the divine moon, she would have died a long time ago. Thunder God, you even joined hands with the primal chaos race of the heavenly law divine realm to capture my wife. The poison god had a hand in this, causing her to be poisoned. Qin Yun's voice became colder and colder. Grandma Qianghua and Medicine King Qin originally thought that Qin Yun was just unhappy with the Thunder God. They never expected that there would be such a thing in the dark. Lu Yu Shuyan is also brimming with killing intent. She is naturally aware of the matter of Xiao Yuelan being besieged. You are slandering us. One of the Heavenly Mother from the Heavenly Law Divine Realm said angrily to Qin Yun. You don't have any evidence, what nonsense are you spouting? Xiao Yuelan suddenly pointed to the few heavenly beings behind the old Heavenly Mother and said, Those guys have a share in besieging me. Capture them and sign a soul contract. We'll know once we ask. We heavenly beings never sign a soul contract, the old Heavenly Mother said angrily. That old Heavenly Mother was a heavenly god, and the young man behind her was also a heavenly god. He was dressed in battle armor and his entire body was filled with killing intent. It was obvious that he was a very strong assassin. I will definitely investigate this matter thoroughly. Everyone knew that the relationship between the Heavenly Law Divine Realm and the Thunder God was very good. Qin Yun looked at the few young men and said coldly, You surrounded and attacked my wife, right? Who ordered you to do so? Who do you think you are? Do you think that just because you defeated a few great God Realm cultivators, you can be arrogant towards us? We are all Heavenly God Realm Celestials, you should show us some respect. A young Celestial shouted at Qin Yun coldly. Qin Yun suddenly used the light transformation sacred pupil. His body transformed into a ray of light and shot out, piercing through the young man's body in an instant. Boom! Boom! Qin Yun suddenly rushed over. It was very sudden and very fast. Furthermore, he continuously used the Heaven Extermination 9 style and killed those few Heavenly God Realm heavenly beings in the blink of an eye. Profound God instantly killed a heavenly god. Courting death. That old Heavenly Mother shouted in alarm and anger. She raised her hand and shot out a large amount of berserk lightning. The entire heaven and earth is immediately filled with angry heavenly might. Qin Yun is holding a small pistol in his hand. He suddenly shot a very strong bullet into that old Heavenly Mother's hand. Boom! That old Heavenly Mother was only condensing thunder and lightning power. She did not even have time to attack Qin Yun and her body exploded. This scene caused the people in the distance to be dumbstruck. In the Qin Medicine King City, he said he would fight, moreover he killed a few heavenly gods, even Heavenly Mother was killed in an instant. This is in front of the Divine Judge. The Nine-Sun royal family's bloodline actually possesses such formidable power, this caused many people to be secretly afraid. Lu Yu Shuyan, Xian Rujing and Star God have already taken out their weapons. The women from the Flower Moon Pavilion are all very aggressive, they are ready to fight. Thunder God tightly clenched his fists, thunder and lightning burst out, his face is also filled with killing intent. Qin Imperial clan's older generation are all ready to jump at each other's throat. The Divine Judge's expression is very cold, a large golden flag suddenly appeared in his hand and he yelled, I hope everyone can give me face. If anyone dares to attack here, no matter who it is, I will use all my strength to perish together with them. The large golden flag in his hand suddenly waved. The light released by the myriad realms' divine sun also became very intense. Qin Yun is startled in his heart. The large flag in the Divine Judge's hand can actually sense the myriad realms' divine Sunday. I will have the Heaven Creation Divine Palace investigate this matter. The Divine Judge's expression is filled with dignity. His eyes are flickering with divine light. He swept his gaze over everyone. I am the Divine Judge after all, none of you actually put me in your eyes. Many experts present are scared by the large flag in the divine judge's hand. Their aura has also been suppressed. Even Thunder God's eyes flashed with fear. You're not doing your job as a divine judge. Qin Yun's face is expressionless. He looked at the divine judge with disdain and said with sneer, "You are in the Myriad Realm's divine palace. It is impossible for you not to know about Thunder God's actions. Why didn't you deal with it earlier?" Granny Qianghua walked over and pulled Qin Yun's arm, indicating that it is enough. The divine judge's brows creased. He thought that his large flag would be able to intimidate everyone present. He did not expect that this young man from Qin Imperial clan is not afraid at all and is still insulting him. I said that I will investigate this matter thoroughly and have the Heaven Creation Divine Palace send people to intervene. If I don't investigate this matter seriously, I will take my own life, the divine judge said. Everyone is very shocked hearing the divine judge's words. The divine judge is using his own life as a guarantee. What if Thunder God ran away? If you want to settle this matter, you must give me a satisfactory explanation, Qin Yun said with calm expression. A heavenly mother shouted, "Who do you think you are? You want the divine judge to give you an explanation? Do you know what kind of flag he is holding? That is the Myriad Heaven's divine punishment flag. It is given to the divine judge by the Myriad Realm's divine son. It is used to maintain order in the divine desolate." Qin Yun thought that the divine judge is just a decoration. He did not expect that he would have some use. Thunder God wanted to kill my wife. The divine judge did not give me an explanation. I will give him an explanation. Qin Yun's eyes are filled with killing intent. He looked at the Heavenly Mother and said in cold voice, "If you are truly tired of living, then say a few more words. I will immediately send you back to the heavens." Although the Heavenly Mother is very angry, she obediently shut her mouth. Even those formidable older generation secretly admire Qin Yun's courage. Facing the divine judge's dreadful pressure, he is completely fine. It seems like his aura is even more powerful than the divine judge's. Is this the power of Nine Sun bloodline? Many people are thinking so in their hearts. I will temporarily put Thunder God under house arrest. After this matter is thoroughly investigated, I will announce the result to the public. If Thunder God truly made a mistake, I will punish him severely and deprive him of his god position. The divine judge looked at Qin Yun and said, "Are you satisfied now? Then keep an eye on Thunder God. If Thunder God runs away, I will treat you as Thunder God's accomplice. I will destroy the entire Myriad World's divine court." Qin Yun groaned. The divine judge frowned. Everyone also feels that Qin Yun is too arrogant. He actually dared to say such words. Chapter 21:55. Thunder God's face was very unsightly because he was going to be detained. He knew that the Chief Divine Judge was serious now, and it was impossible for the Chief Divine Judge not to know about the evil things he had done. Don't be too cocky. There is always someone better than you. Don't think that the Nine Suns royal family is the strongest. The Thunder God said coldly. Thunder God, I will personally take your life. Qin Yun stared at Thunder God. What surprised him was that Thunder God was still unable to recognize him even after conversing with him at such a close distance. Grand Inquisitor, I hope you won't be deceived by these villains. Whatever you do in the Myriad Realm's divine court must be done under the supervision of the Elder Pavilion. Don't be willful. Thunder God said. The divine judge took out a pagoda and said, Thunder God, a straight body is not afraid of a crooked shadow. If you didn't do anything, then nothing will happen to you. The god of thunder snorted and was sucked into the tower. Under the Grand Inquisitor's might, Thor had no choice. He could not escape, or he would be killed on the spot. The Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother of the natural law divine realm were all filled with rage. Divine Judge, that guy killed so many of our people just now. Are we just going to let it go? A heavenly mother said angrily. You can settle this matter privately. After I leave, you can fight however you want. The divine chief's stern old eyes coldly swept across the group of heavenly emperors and heavenly mothers from the natural law divine realm. The heavenly Tao was no longer here. Although the natural law divine realm was strong, it did not dare to go against the divine judge who had raised the heavenly punishment flag. Settling it privately was a battle. If the natural law divine realm and the Qin imperial clan were to fight, both sides would definitely suffer. Maybe at that time, the entire imperial clan and the Flower Moon Pavilion would join in, and the natural law divine realm would definitely suffer even greater losses. Under such circumstances, the primal chaos race wouldn't intervene to help, and it was hard to say if the Nine Suns sects and other outer heavens forces would help. At the beginning of the Divine Wilderness Great Era, no faction wanted to suffer heavy losses. Even more so, they did not want to suffer heavy losses. Otherwise, they would miss out on this golden era. Just you wait. The Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother of the natural law divine realm left behind some harsh words and brought their people away, causing a huge commotion. The people from the Nine Suns sect had long fled, and the others from the Thunder God Hall could only leave with their tails between their legs. The people from the other clans of the Emperor clan remained outside the city. Especially those big shots of the various clans, they all want to figure out Qin Yun's situation. They want to confirm whether or not he truly possesses the bloodline of the Nine Sun royal family. The power that Qin Yun had displayed was indeed incomparably terrifying. The profound god was able to instantly kill the powerful gods of the natural law divine realm. Even the primal chaos race of the divine wilderness couldn't do this. However, even though he had displayed such terrifying power, the elders of the other clans had to verify it before they could discuss how to form an alliance. I am tired, I want to rest. Qin Yun looked at Granny Qianghua and said, Go ahead and have a good rest. Once you are well rested, the city will be much quieter. Grandma Qianghua smiled and said. The divine judge said, Little brother, let me remind you that the chaos race is not to be trifled with. They've only said that they will not attack your Qin imperial clan for the next 3 years. However, after 3 years, I can't be certain. Even your myriad heaven's divine punishment flags can't stop them? Qin Yun said. I don't know. I hope that after 3 years, you will be able to stop the primal chaos race. In short, the myriad realm's divine court won't be able to suppress them. The divine judge finished speaking and left. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan returned to Jasper Flower Valley together. Granny Qianghua and Medicine King Qin now have to meet the elders of the other clans. The other clan kings of the Qin imperial clan, as well as the clan emperor, are very impatient to understand the situation. When Qin Yun left, he sent sound transmission to Granny Qianghua, telling her to cooperate with the emperor clan kings of the Qin imperial clan to deceive the elders of the other clans first. Granny Qianghua now knows that Qin Yun might not have the true Nine Sun bloodline. However, this is indeed a rare opportunity to unite. She more or less understands Qin Yun's way of doing things. He has displayed formidable strength and pretended that he has recovered his Nine Sun bloodline to deceive the other clans. Granny Qianghua now suspects that Qin Yun might be the bearded man who killed that royal grandson. Jasper Flower Valley, inside the floating cloud pagoda, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are soaking in the myriad heaven divine moon's spring. After surviving a crisis, the young husband and wife have become very relaxed and are enjoying this rare joy. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are enjoying this sweet happiness. They entered a resting state together. Within a pavilion in Jasper Flower Valley, Qin Huayu is somewhat nervous. Because star god Lu Yu Shuyan, Xian Rujing, Xiang Yalan and Nangong Shuaru are all here. They were brought here by Qin Huayu. These women all have different charm. They are undying fragrance and charm. They are as gentle as water. Each and every one of them is beautiful, fragrant and dazzling. Qin Huayu is very confident in her appearance, but facing these peerless beauties from the Guanghan Palace, she feels a great pressure. When will they come out? The charming and bewitching star god propped up her cheek with her lily-white hands. Her expression is filled with hidden bitterness. We are very worried about them, but why don't you go in and take a look? Xian Rujing coldly groaned. Why don't you go in and let me in? Star god mumbled. Clearly you and him have such a good relationship. Qin Huayu suddenly blushed and her heart is beating faster. She is also very startled in her heart. She knew that Qin Yun is very outstanding, but she did not expect that Qin Yun and Snow Goddess have another kind of relationship. Xian Rujing rolled her eyes at him and said, "He is resting inside. He must have consumed a lot of energy in that kind of great battle. We shouldn't go in and disturb him. I am also worried that something might happen to him. He is a profound god, yet he burst out with such formidable power. I am worried that he will have to pay a great price." Star God said in slight displeasure. "I still don't have that kind of relationship with him. I am shy." Qin Huayu is startled again. She can see that this delicate and charming star god also has a kind of special relationship with Qin Yun. "I will go in and take a look." Lu Yushuyan lazily smiled. Lu Yushuyan entered the floating cloud pagoda and directly arrived at the top floor. She saw Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon sleeping very soundly. She lightly smiled and was about to leave when Xiao Yuelon suddenly jumped up and pounced towards her. "Grab Master Sister. Don't go," Xiao Yuelon said with light smile. "Yuelon, Xiao Yun is sleeping." Lu Yushuyan's dreamy and beautiful face has a trace of alarm and worry. She angrily said in low voice, "Don't mess around." Xiao Yuelon tightly hugged Lu Yushuyan and said with giggle, "He is sleeping very soundly. He won't wake up. Do you want to go and tease him?" "Tease your head." Lu Yushuyan's beautiful eyes rolled at her. She knew that coming in would not be a good thing. No wonder Xian Rujing and Star God didn't dare to come in. Xiao Yuelon put on her clothes and said with grave expression, "Master Sister, Xiao Yun's injuries are very serious. Before he fell asleep, he told me to find Dog God." "Ah, how can he be so seriously injured?" Lu Yushuyan's expression changed. She immediately became incomparably worried and promptly walked to the bedside. "Master Sister, you should stay and help him heal. His injuries are mainly caused by forcefully using 9 Sun World Extermination Scriptures power. You understand this the most," Xiao Yuelon said with cold expression. "It's all because of those guys, otherwise Xiao Yun would not have taken such a big risk." Lu Yushuyan is very worried and said, "How can this be? I told him not to use 9 Sun World Extermination Scriptures power unless absolutely necessary. He doesn't have world extermination spirit." "Master Sister, you take care of him. I will go out to handle some matters," Xiao Yuelon said. "All right." Lu Yushuyan grabbed Qin Yun's wrist, placed her lily-white hand on his chest, and poured in her power to probe his body. Xiao Yuelon left this floor, leaving Lu Yushuyan alone. She anxiously helped Qin Yun heal his injuries. After probing Qin Yun's body, Lu Yushuyan became even more worried. Because Qin Yun's body indeed has signs of injury. Qin Yun sensed someone probing his body. At the same time he smelled a very familiar fragrance. He promptly opened his eyes and saw an indescribably beautiful face filled with worry. That peerless appearance is dreamy and charming, seemingly ice-cold but also filled with boundless gentleness, as if it has boundless magic power. "Sister Shuyan," Qin Yun very happily shouted, "why are you here? Where's Yuelon?" "Yuelon said that you told her to find Dog God and let me take care of you," Lu Yushuyan said with a worried expression. "Don't get up, I am checking your injuries." "I didn't tell her to find Dog God," Qin Yun said with frown. "What? This damned girl, she actually—" Lu Yushuyan carefully thought about it and said coquettishly, "Truly a sly girl." Xiao Yuelon deliberately lied to her. Are you seriously injured? Lu Yushuyen's beautiful dreamy face is still filled with worry. Qin Yun hugged her and caressed her face. He said with smile, "It's not too serious, I'm fine." Yuelon is influenced by the company she keeps. After staying with you for so long, she learned how to deceive people. Lu Yushuyen lightly groaned and then said with angry smile. Qin Yun suddenly kissed her vermilion lips. Lu Yushuyen also tightly hugged Qin Yun. The two of them have not seen each other for many years and have missed each other for many years. Now that they have met, their feelings have finally been watered, sweetness moistened each other's hearts. Are you really completely fine? Lu Yushuyen is still somewhat worried. She tightly hugged Qin Yun and said softly, "I'm really fine." Qin Yun tightly hugged this dreamy and beautiful gentle beauty. Although she is a killing god, her entire body is filled with gentleness and charm. It can make people go crazy. Qin Yun and Lu Yushuyen, this killing god, can be said to have known each other for many years. Lu Yushuyen is Nine's Sun Divine Maiden. She met Qin Yun many years ago. But at that time, their feelings were still very vague. Later on, when he became the king of gods, their feelings developed a step further. Chapter 2156. A day passed and Qin Yun woke up. He shivered violently. He was awakened by an incomparable fear. Being together with Lu Yushuyen and enjoying the deep affection and sweetness filled him with endless happiness. But it was also because of this that he was afraid of losing everything. This aroused the fear hidden in the depths of his heart. Therefore, when he woke up, he subconsciously thought that everything he had just experienced was wonderful, as if it was a dream. He looked at the dreamy and gorgeous beauty nestled beside him and felt the gentle touch of her skin. Only then did he know that this was not a dream. Lu Yushuyen gently rubbed his heart and said gently, "Don't be afraid, I am here. Did you have a nightmare?" Qin Yun did not say a word. That fear was his fear of the chaos race. Although he had almost forgotten about this experience several times, it still flashed through his mind from time to time. Back when he was the king of the Nine Yang Palace, he had been beaten up by a child from the Chaos Clan. Qin Yun gently held the delicate lily-white hand that was rubbing his heart and said with a smile, "Did you have a nightmare? Why would I have nightmares when I'm with big sister Shuyen?" "I knew it. How could you have nightmares when you're with me? Although I'm the god of slaughter, I'm only a nightmare for others." Lu Yushuyen's dreamy and beautiful face is filled with blurred charm, causing Qin Yun to be somewhat absent-minded. Qin Yun had nearly forgotten that this charming and gentle gorgeous beauty was a god of death. "Sister Shuyen, I'm fine now," Qin Yun said with a smile. "By the way, you previously had an avatar that came to the Divine Desolate. How is it now?" "Of course it's good, it's in the Guang Han Palace." Lu Yushuyen chuckled and said, "What, do you like my clone more? In the future, I'll let my clone come as well." Qin Yun said with smile, "Sister Shuyen, I really couldn't tell that you are as bad as Yuelon." Lu Yushuyen charmingly smiled and said, "Don't you know whose disciple Yuelon is? This naughty girl once had my soul and soul." Her face suddenly became serious, and she said in a low voice, "Xiao Yun, why were you scared awake? How could you be scared awake when you are with a beauty like me? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of me? Do I really scare you that much?" Because she once had all sorts of entanglements with Qin Yun, but in the end they were still together. After all, what happened before was all a misunderstanding. "I'm afraid of losing you." Qin Yun hugged her tightly and said with a sigh, "I am not invincible. In this world, there are many powerful people. I am not their match." Lu Yushuyen's jade face rested on Qin Yun's chest and said softly, "What kind of opponent is it? Even you are afraid? Let's not talk about this. There must be many things waiting for me outside." Qin Yun smiled and said, "Sister Shuyen, you and I have already cultivated the Sun-Moon Heart Sutra to the 3rd level. Do you feel any changes in your divine veins? Yes, I have 9 sun divine veins, Lu Yu Shuyan said with smile. Xiao Rou said it before, there is nothing strange about it. Qin Yun nodded. He is still somewhat doubtful and said, How can Sister Rujing have 9 Yin divine veins? You and Yuelon both have 9 Yang divine veins. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Lu Yu Shuyan charmingly smiled and said, Xiao Yun, have you truly recovered 9 Sun royal family's bloodline? Of course not. Qin Yun shook his head and said with smile, I am having a headache because of this matter. I told a gargantuan lie. Lu Yu Shuyan said with smile, It seems like the swindling memory of immortal King Fuyun has a great influence on you. However, your swindling was very beautiful, I almost believed it. Not only her, apart from Xiao Yuelon, almost everyone believed it. Even Qin Long thought that Qin Yun has truly recovered 9 Sun royal family's bloodline. But I still underestimated those big shot. They will surely verify my 9 Sun royal family's bloodline. Qin Yun said with frown. I have a headache, how can I fool them? If they know that I am swindling them, they won't cooperate with me to recover royal family's bloodline. This is simple. Lu Yu Shuyan proudly smiled and said, Simple? Sister Shuyan, do you have a good idea? Qin Yun promptly asked. Don't forget, back when I was Yaofeng, I cooperated with you to deal with Devil Immortal Great Emperor. Lu Yu Shuyan mischievously laughed, then took out a small bottle and asked, Do you know what's inside? What is it? Could it be that after eating it, one can recover 9 Sun royal family's bloodline? Qin Yun guessed. Even though I am 9 Sun divine maiden, I don't have that kind of thing. If I truly had it, I would have already helped Yuelon, Yueme and little Malian recover their bloodline. After Lu Yu Shuyan opened the bottle, a very strong blood energy floated out. Qin Yun smelled the blood energy and said in shock, This is 9 Sun royal family's pure blood. Lu Yu Shuyan mischievously laughed and said, Little Yueshi gave it to me. She said that her blood can scare off some rather formidable beasts. I have never tried it. Princess Yu Shi is the Moon Clan's empress, the only 9 Sun royal family member in Divine Desolate. With her blood, it was indeed proof. Very good, this way I can deceive them. Qin Yun said, I really need to recover 9 Sun royal family's bloodline. Xiao Yun, what exactly did you experience? Why are you so awesome? Lu Yu Shuyan doubtfully asked. Did you really use 9 Sun world extermination scripture? Qin Yun shook his head and said, No, I only cultivated 9 divine profound Tao images. After Lu Yu Shuyan heard this, she said in shock, Really? Qin Yun nodded and said, Really? Very good. Lu Yu Shuyan is very happy. She immediately hugged Qin Yun and smiled tenderly. What 9 divine profound Tao images means, Lu Yu Shuyan is very clear. Don't be silly, Granny Qianghua has been waiting for a long time. Suddenly Xiao Yuelon's laughter arrived. Xiao Yuelon suddenly appeared beside her. This caused Lu Yu Shuyan to shout in shock. Yuelon, when did you come? Lu Yu Shuyan said in panic. I've always been here, I've never left. Xiao Yuelon laughed loudly and walked over to pinch Lu Yu Shuyan's beautiful face. You little girl, you're really messing around, I'll beat you to death. Lu Yu Shuyan is somewhat angry. She immediately vigorously pinched Xiao Yuelon's face. Xiao Yuelon giggled and said, Beat me to death so that you can take Xiao Yun for yourself, right? Lu Yu Shuyan and Xiao Yuelon are already in a mess. Qin Yun has already put on his clothes and walked out of the floating cloud pagoda. Looking at his refreshed and radiant face, the star god and Xiang Yalan secretly spat. Because Lu Yu Shuyan had gone in for an entire night and did not come out, the star god somewhat regretted not going in. Qin Huayu really wants to know what kind of divine being this Xiao Qin, who calls her big sister Qin, is to be able to capture the hearts of so many powerful goddesses. Xiao Qin, the big shots of the other clans are waiting for you. Granny Qianghua said, What should we do now? If you don't have a true bloodline, they won't believe you. Qin Yun took out a small bottle and said, "This is a bottle of blood, I'll give you a few drops. Take it out and show it to them." This. Will it work? Granny Cheonghua's face is filled with doubt and asked, "Shao Qin, have you recovered your bloodline?" Qin Yun said with smile, "Granny, let's collect the blood." Granny Cheonghua can only take out a jade box. Qin Yun dripped a few drops of blood on the jade box. Those few drops of blood flickered with 9-colored light and emitted a very formidable aura. This. Although Granny Cheonghua has never seen true 9-sun royal family blood, it looks exactly the same as the legends. "Just give it to them," Qin Yun said with smile. "Tell them that because I ate a forbidden divine pill, I forcefully erupted with formidable power and injured my body and soul. I need to recuperate for many days, so I can't meet them for the time being. It is best not to meet those old fellows for the time being, so that they won't be able to see through him." "Alright. These few drops of blood are enough." Granny Cheonghua is very happy and said with smile, "Then you stay in Jasper Flower Valley for a while, I will go deal with those guys first." Granny Cheonghua is very excited and promptly left Jasper Flower Valley. "Shao Qin, are you really seriously injured?" Qin Huayu anxiously asked. "If he is seriously injured, it is because he was tormented by Sister Shu Yan and Yuelon," Star God said with giggle. This caused Qin Huayu's face to immediately turn red. Qin Yun pinched Star God's charming face, then sat down and said, "Will Myriad Realms Divine Court make any big move? This time, I got the Thunder God locked up. You need to worry about Primal Chaos Race. They will surely make a move in 3 years," Xian Rujing said. Qin Yun's expression gradually became grave when he mentioned Primal Chaos Race. Because the Primal Chaos Race here is different from the ones he met in Ancient Desolate. He also doesn't know if there is a powerful Primal Chaos Race like Ancient Desolate in Myriad Heaven's Divine Desolate. If there is, then it will be very troublesome. "I am fine. I want to go back to Flower Moon Pavilion to find Dog God. Are you coming with me?" Qin Yun asked. "No need to go back to Flower Moon Pavilion, he is at Qin Manor. He has been waiting for you for a long time," Xiang Yalan said with smile. Qin Huayu said, "I will let Dog God come." Qin Yun nodded, then entered a secret room and waited for Qin Huayu to bring Dog God over. Dog God came by himself, moreover it is an avatar. "Boss Divine King, you are truly awesome. You actually dared to offend Thunder God, and even caused him to be imprisoned by Divine Judge." Dog God saw Qin Yun and waited for Qin Huayu to come over, then promptly exclaimed in admiration and said with smile, "Dog God, I asked you to investigate the whereabouts of Heavenly Mother in Qin Yao King City. Have you found anything?" Qin Yun asked. "I have. She has not left Qin Yao King City, she is still in the city. Moreover, she is very low-key, she doesn't look like a Heavenly Mother at all." Dog God said in low voice, "Boss Divine King, don't tell me you want to kill her? Or, should I arrest her?" "Why do you ask?" Qin Yun asked. Chapter 2157. The reason why Qin Yun sought out the Heavenly Mother was because he wanted to understand the situation of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. The internal situation of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm was rather complicated. There were some very secret matters that the outside world did not know about. Because of the birth of the Divine Desolate Land, the matters of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm were known by more and more people. However, what most people knew was that it had been whitewashed by the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. There were many shady dealings in the Heavenly Law Divine Realm that were extremely dark. The Dog God said, "There is a rumor that the Heavenly Mother's heavenly embryo was taken away and all of her subordinates were killed. She doesn't have any subordinates at all. Furthermore, she comes from the sacred realm. Logically speaking, it would be very difficult for the Heavenly Mother in the sacred realm to come to the God realm. Qin Yun understood all of this better than the dog god. The Heavenly Mother's heavenly embryo was taken away by the goddess of love, the Heavenly Mother Moai. And the reason why the Heavenly Mother was able to come to the God realm was also because of Qin Yun's help. And, Qin Yun asked, in these aspects, she is different from other Heavenly Mothers. The reason why she is special is because she came to the God realm from the sacred realm and obtained a very powerful power, allowing her to obtain a new heavenly embryo. The dog god said, then she is still alone and has no other subordinate. Could it be that her heavenly embryo can't give birth to a heavenly man? Qin Yun said, that's the special part. Her heavenly embryo can't produce a heavenly man, it can produce two other kinds of creatures. Of course, this is all gossip, I can't verify it. The dog god said, what two kinds of creatures? Qin Yun felt that this was most likely true. Because the Heavenly Mother was able to come to the divine desolate land, she was indeed a rather special existence. Furthermore, she had once received the help of the Yang seed. Fairies and beasts. The dog god said, her heavenly embryo is not in the heavenly law divine realm but in her own hands. The Heavenly Mother could give birth to fairies and beasts through the heavenly embryo. This was indeed very special. Dog god, take me to her. Qin Yun said. Boss God King, you want to capture her? Dog deity said. I heard that the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is also a rare and beautiful Heavenly Mother. Many Heavenly Mothers are old and faded, but she is very young and beautiful. What are you thinking? I just want to see her. Qin Yun said with smile. Boss God King, is it convenient for you to leave the Qin Manor now? Dog deity asked. They should be watching you very closely, right? The dog deity believes that Qin Yun has the 9 sun bloodline in his body, and the big shots of the various imperial clans are still in the Qin mansion. No problem, bring me to the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother. We will secretly leave. Qin Yun said. All right. The dog deity nodded. After Qin Yun and dog deity left the secret room, he told Xiao Yuelan and others that he will be going out to find Qin Zhangquang and won't leave the city. As for Lu Yu, Shu Yan and the others, they were also returning to the Flower Moon Pavilion. Qin Huayu was also dragged by Xiao Yuelan to the Flower Moon Pavilion to play. With that, Qin Yun and dog deity followed them out of Jasper Flower Valley and Qin Manor. Qin Yun and dog god did not go to Qin Zhangquang's place. They sat in a large carriage and headed towards a residential area in the western part of the city. There are many old houses in the west of the city. Qin Yun said, she's staying here? According to my investigation, after she entered the city, she didn't leave the old house in the western part of the city. Even when there was a huge commotion earlier, she didn't go out. The dog deity said. Strange. I feel that the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is here to investigate the matter of the Heavenly Tao Pagoda. The matter of the Heavenly Tao Pagoda was done by me. Qin Yun said with frown. The dog deity also knows the reason why the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother was sent here. Therefore, he feels that the reason Qin Yun is looking for the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is to kill her or capture her. Dog deity, have you seen her with your own eyes? Qin Yun asked again. He feels that the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is acting so mysterious, she must be up to something. I've never seen her, but I'm sure that she was the only one in the old house. She opened the door but didn't come out. She was wearing a mask, so I couldn't see her face, but I'm sure it was her. The dog deity said. Less than half an hour later, Qin Yun and dog deity finally arrived at the old house in the western part of the city. There are many old houses here, on the contrary, there are very few tall buildings here. The main reason is that this place is very quiet, moreover it is not at the center of the treasure land. Although there are medicinal plants growing here, very few people come here. After arriving here, Qin Yun learned that the old residences here are all relatively expensive. Some low-key bigwigs live in these old residences. The dog deity's large carriage is parked outside an old house. The old house looks very old, but there is a very strong barrier separating the courtyard. Qin Yun went over and knocked on the door. Dog deity is very nervous. He is worried that Qin Yun will kill the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother and cause a huge commotion. After waiting for a while, no one came to open the door. Is there no one inside? Qin Yun looked at the dog deity. Just now he used his mental power to probe, but it was blocked by the barrier. There is. Boss Divine King, I knocked on the door a few times but no one came out to open the door. Dog deity said in low voice. Then let's return to the carriage and see if we can wait for her to come out or not. Qin Yun also doesn't know what the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is doing. It seems like she is in seclusion. At night, dog deity's expression suddenly changed. He said in low voice. Boss Divine King, two very strong auras are approaching. A Heavenly Emperor and a Heavenly Mother. Qin Yun nodded his head and said. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother has been staying here for many days. She has not gone out to do anything. It is very normal for people to come and ask her questions. Dog deity said. Heavenly Emperor Heavenly Mother arrived at the courtyard's entrance and vigorously kicked the door. Imperial Sound, quickly come out. We know you are inside. If you don't come out, we will fight our way in. The Heavenly Emperor said in deep voice. Heavenly Emperor Heavenly Mother is a heavenly god. It is not difficult for Qin Yun to kill them. He is currently holding a small pistol in his hand. They kicked the door for a while but no one came out. Boom. Heavenly Emperor Heavenly Mother used a very strong power and forcibly broke the door. Qin Yun and Dog God are inside the carriage. They are looking through the window and seeing something very strange. After Heavenly Emperor Heavenly Mother opened the door, it seems like she saw something that caused them to be very scared, and then they were sucked inside. Dog deity's heart trembled. He said in low voice, Boss Divine King, that Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is truly evil. That courtyard's barrier is very strong. When we were floating in the air, we could only see the flowers and grass inside the courtyard. It must be an illusion. Qin Yun said in deep voice. He used Heavenly Eye to look, but he could not see through the illusion formation. The courtyard's gate closed and everything became calm again. Qin Yun said, Dog deity, wait for me here, I will go take a look. Although Dog deity is very scared, he is still determined to go with Qin Yun. Even though this is his puppet avatar, his perception is very strong. After arriving outside the gate, Dog deity's expression changed. That Heavenly Emperor Heavenly Mother's aura is gone. Qin Yun slightly inhaled a mouthful of air and then sent a palm attack towards the gate. After the courtyard's gate opened, Qin Yun and Dog deity's expression abruptly changed. When they looked at the courtyard from the sky, it was indeed an illusion. After they opened the gate, they saw a very shocking scene. There are many tortured and bloody corpses, their stomachs have been cut open, there are all kinds of mutilated body parts that are leaking poison. Also at this time, a very strong suction force sucked Qin Yun and Dog deity inside. After being sucked in, Qin Yun and Dog deity found themselves in a disgusting and bloody place. Luckily they are very experienced, they are only startled at first but they quickly adapted. They passed through the bloody courtyard, walked towards a door, and entered a large hall. Heavenly Emperor Heavenly Mother is sitting inside the large hall. Now Qin Yun and Dog deity realized that there are many people inside this old residence, there are even people from primal chaos race. Dog deity is very nervous in his heart, but because he is following Qin Yun, he feels a lot more at ease. Qin Yun has changed his appearance a bit, he has disguised himself as a refined scholar. Who are your sire? Old Heavenly Mother asked. No comment. Qin Yun indifferently replied. Who are you to Imperial Sound? When did that wretched slut start colluding with humans? Heavenly Emperor coldly groaned and said. That fat old Heavenly Mother laughed sinisterly and said, Youngster, if you are Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother's friend, then you came at a bad time. She has already been captured, and we want to take away her heavenly embryo. Now the expert who seized her heavenly embryo is sealing her. So long as the seal is complete, we will go in and help. Qin Yun faintly smiled and said, Sorry, I was invited here to help transfer the heavenly embryo. He is extremely shocked in his heart. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother has actually been plotted against. No wonder she has not shown herself in public these past few days. So it is one of our own. That expert came from Primal Chaos World. Those heavenly men outside are all his research subjects. Heavenly Emperor said. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is not easy to seal. This woman's heavenly embryo is too strange. It can allow her to erupt with very strong power. Luckily there are experts from Primal Chaos race here. They can barely suppress her. Moreover, they did not cause any commotion. That fat old Heavenly Mother said. Qin Yun said, Then let's go in and take a look. When my friend informed me to come here, he said that the situation here is very urgent. This place can be casually entered, and it was created by the people of Primal Chaos race. It can be seen that they are too confident, allowing people to enter and exit as they please. After saying that, Qin Yun walked towards a door. After he opened the door, he saw 5 old men surrounding a transparent crystal coffin. Inside the crystal coffin lies the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother. She is wearing a set of purple gold heavenly armor and is currently struggling. Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother, who are outside, did not follow them in. They truly felt that Qin Yun came to help. You are a heavenly man sent by the heavenly law divine realm? Is it for us to study? An old man said. Qin Yun laughed and said, No, I am here to kill you. Just as he finished speaking, a powerful primal chaos cold power surged out, accompanied by a strong supergravity, pressing down on the 5 elders. Chapter 2158. After killing those primal chaos race elders, Qin Yun went to destroy their souls to prevent them from floating away and being reborn. Are these guys really from Primal Chaos race? Why do they look so weak? Dog Deity said in low voice. Qin Yun arrived beside the crystal coffin and looked at the struggling Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother's eyes are blindfolded. She can't see what is happening outside. They are from Primal Chaos race, but they don't seem to be good at fighting. It seems like they are inscription masters and pill masters. Qin Yun carefully inspected the crystal coffin to prevent it from exploding. Dog Deity is standing at the door to prevent people from coming in. Qin Yun's attack caused quite a commotion, but those 2 heavenly emperors and heavenly mothers did not come in. Clearly they felt that this kind of commotion is very normal, so they were not alarmed. After careful inspection, Qin Yun confirmed that the crystal coffin did not have any exploding formation. He also roughly understood how to break the seal. He took out the floating cloud divine needle and opened his heavenly eye to look at the crystal coffin. He grabbed those fine runes and destroyed the key runes. This way, the crystal coffin can be opened. Boss, be careful, the woman inside is very violent. Dog Deity said in low voice. Relax, I know her. Qin Yun laughed and opened the crystal coffin's lid. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother's voice came out and furiously cursed. I will tear you to pieces. She was sealed inside so her voice couldn't come out. Her hands and feet are tied up but her body can still move. She frantically struggled and jumped, almost jumping out of the crystal coffin. Qin Yun promptly took off her blindfold. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother's hair is in a mess, her beautiful face is filled with anger. But after seeing Qin Yun, the anger on her face disappeared, and she let out a long sigh of relief. Palace King, you finally came. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother also calmly laid down. Qin Yun very quickly removed the chains on her hands and feet. She also came out of the crystal coffin. Imperial Sound, how could you be so careless? Qin Yun said with smile. Imperial Sound, Heavenly Mother quickly tidied up her messy hair. Her flirtatious appearance has quite a different kind of charm. If you look carefully, you can see that she is a very good and charming woman. It's a long story. I really didn't expect that the chaotic clan would spend so much to capture me. The Heavenly Mother was very angry when she talked about this. Dog God is very astonished. He did not expect Qin Yun to have such a good relationship with the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother. Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother are outside. They are here to help Primal Chaos Race transfer your heavenly embryo. Qin Yun said. I know who those two fellows are. I'll go out and kill them. The Heavenly Mother quickly took out a purple gold Divine Universe sword. Can you do it? Qin Yun could not figure out the Heavenly Mother's cultivation level. Although the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother had very strong divine power, it was impossible to determine her cultivation from the divine power aura. Of course. Palace King, you just wait here. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said and rushed out. After she rushed out, screams came from outside. After Qin Yun and Dog God went out, they saw that Heavenly Emperor Heavenly Mother has been chopped into pieces. The hall outside is drenched in blood. Their souls have also been destroyed by me. Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound said, This kind of trash is not my match. Qin Yun said to Dog God, Dog God, you go back first. Yes, sir. Dog God nodded and quickly left the old residence. Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound said, I came here to investigate the matter of the Heavenly Dao Tower. Since you are here, then the matter of the Heavenly Dao Tower must have been done by you. How long have you been captured? Qin Yun walked down and said with a smile. Although this place was drenched in blood, it did not affect the conversation between Qin Yun and Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound. It's been quite a long time. Those guys sealed me in that crystal coffin and always wanted to force me to release the heavenly embryo. Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound sneered. She did not know what had happened in the past few days, nor did she know that the Primal Chaos royal grandson had been killed outside the city. Qin Yun did not tell her much about these matters. He only asked about the situation of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. How did the Heavenly Law Divine Realm get together with the Primal Chaos race? Qin Yun asked. It seems like their cooperation is very deep. Let's put it this way, the Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Emperor of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm are very eager to obtain the power that the Primal Chaos race controls. Therefore, the current Heavenly Law Divine Realm can be said to be the subordinates of the Primal Chaos race. Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound sighed. The powerful and prosperous Heavenly Law Divine Realm of the past no longer exists. Really? Qin Yun said with some joy. Don't be happy too early. Although the Heavenly Law Divine Realm has declined greatly, some of the old fellows in the Heavenly Law Divine Realm have obtained the help of the Primal Chaos race and become extremely powerful because they have betrayed the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound's face darkened. Palace King, don't think that just because the Heavenly Law Divine Realm has declined, you can tolerate it. It's easy to deal with. Qin Yun asked with some doubt. The Primal Chaos race's help to the Heavenly Law Divine Realm is actually that effective. Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound released flames to burn the corpses here and said, Nirvana of the Heavenly Tao, but no one knows what will happen after Nirvana. Furthermore, I don't know when I'll be able to succeed in Nirvana. However, the upper echelons of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm could not wait any longer, so they handed the Heavenly Law Divine Realm over to the Primal Chaos clan. The Heavenly Law Divine Realm was betrayed just like that? Qin Yun could not help but sigh. No wonder the Heavenly Emperor and Heavenly Mother of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm was so respectful to the Chaos race. The reason why the primal chaos race controls the heavenly law divine domain is because they want to use it to infiltrate the entire divine wasteland. Of course, this is their long-term plan. The Heavenly Mother quickly burned all the corpses here and said, and the higher-ups of the natural law divine realm betrayed the natural law divine realm and obtained the primal chaos bloodline. Chaos bloodline. This was the first time Qin Yun had heard of such a bloodline. He was somewhat surprised and immediately associated it with the ancient desolate chaos race. What is that? Asked Qin Yun. Only a powerful chaos divine son can give birth to a kind of bloodline. Anyone who obtains this bloodline can become a member of the primal chaos race. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said, up until now, there are a total of 50 Heavenly Mothers and Heavenly Emperors who have obtained the primal chaos bloodline. Qin Yun said with a sneer, previously, the natural law divine realm was in such a hurry to destroy the primal chaos divine son, but now it has submitted to the primal chaos race. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother had almost perished together with the chaos divine Sunday. Speaking of this matter, the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother became angry. These bastards! The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother slammed the table beside her. Imperial Sound, how much do you know about the primal chaos race? I have come into contact with them before and they are not as powerful as I imagined. Qin Yun looked at the door and said, those few old fellows were all killed by me. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said, the interior of the primal chaos realm is rather complicated. It is like a very large world with all kinds of powerful primal chaos creatures. Their attitudes towards the divine wasteland are all different. Some of them came to the divine wasteland early in order to occupy a place. Have you heard of the primal chaos race's 8 kings and 1 emperor? Rumor has it that they are the rulers of the primal chaos race. Qin Yun said, bullshit, those 8 kings and 1 emperor can only be considered a third-rate primal chaos race. Within the primal chaos realm, the strength of the primal chaos race has a lot to do with the bloodline in their bodies. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said, their bloodline is divided into low, middle, high, top and royal grade. Those 8 kings and 1 emperor, they should only be middle-grade primal chaos bloodline. Middle-grade primal chaos bloodline. Middle-grade primal chaos bloodline. Qin Yun now understands why the primal chaos race he met were so weak. It turns out that they are not the strongest of the primal chaos race. However, those 8 kings and 1 emperor boasted that they are the strongest in the primal chaos realm. High-grade primal chaos bloodline. I have seen it before, it is indeed very terrifying. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said again. You have seen it? Where did you see it? Qin Yun asked. When I used the heavenly embryo, an old hag from the primal chaos race appeared. She is the same as me, a great god. However, I feel that her strength should be able to defeat the sacred deity. Speaking of this matter, the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is still somewhat afraid. Qin Yun's brows furrowed. This is only a high-grade primal chaos bloodline, yet it is already so powerful. I have a special heavenly embryo that allows me to obtain very powerful strength. Even the Heavenly God, Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Emperor is not my match. However, when I faced that old hag, I did not even have the thought of resisting because I could not beat her. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is very strong. Otherwise, she would not have been able to kill the Heavenly God, Heavenly Mother by herself. That old hag from the primal chaos race attacked you? Was she the one who captured you? Qin Yun asked. No, she was just curious. She doesn't seem to have any ill intentions towards me. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said with a frown. I chatted with her and found out that the stronger the primal chaos bloodline, the fewer the number of people in the primal chaos realm. Not many of such powerful people have come to the divine desolate. Qin Yun said. I suspect that because they are too strong, they will destroy space, so they will be restricted to the divine desolate. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said. Qin Yun now has a rough understanding of the primal chaos race, and the heavenly law divine domain is still the source of chaos in the divine desolate. Behind the heavenly law divine domain, there is still the primal chaos race. What about the heavenly mother Moai? Qin Yun asked. She obtained the primal chaos bloodline. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been forced to leave the heavenly law divine domain. She is targeting me everywhere in the heavenly law divine domain. She told you to investigate the matter of the heavenly law tower. Qin Yun can roughly guess. And she told me to come over and then contact the primal chaos race to capture me. I underestimated their underlings. I didn't expect them to dare to make a move in the Qin Yao royal city. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said. Don't return to the heavenly law divine domain in the future. Qin Yun said, there's no need for that anymore. The Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother nodded and suddenly said with a charming smile, Palace King, I have a very special heavenly embryo. Do you want to try giving birth to a child with me? Chapter 2159. Qin Yun knows that this Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is always fantasizing about giving birth to a child. She even has her eyes on him. Palace King, come. Logically speaking, as a man, you should like to do this kind of thing. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother walked over and hugged Qin Yun's arm. She said with charming smile, I don't mind, what do you mind? There is blood everywhere here. There are corpses of a few old men in the room, and there are all kinds of dissected bodies in the courtyard. And this Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother wants to talk about romance in this kind of place. This place is not suitable. Besides, I have a wife. How about I take you to see her and let her give me some advice? Qin Yun suddenly thought of Xiao Yuelon. He felt that it would be best to let Xiao Yuelon deal with a little demoness like Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said worriedly, Your wife will definitely stop you, you can't. Qin Yun pulled her hand and said with smile, You don't know, she was the one who helped me find my little wife. It's just that I haven't seen my little wife many times. Shimen Chuqian was taken away by Xiao Yuelon. She has always been in the Guanghan Palace, she is an inscription master. Alright then. Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother said with smile. Just like this, Qin Yun left the old residence in the western part of the city with Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother and quickly returned to the Flower Moon Pavilion. Qin Yun quietly returned. He placed Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul and then went to find Xiao Yuelon. Xiao Yuelon is currently cultivating, and she seems to be very serious. After Qin Yun arrived at Xiao Yuelon's secret room, she woke up from her cultivation. Yuelon, it's rare to see you so honest. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Honest Qin, I am your wife, of course I am also an honest person. Xiao Yuelon said with charming smile. Where did you go to have fun? You have a woman's fragrance on your body and a strong smell of blood. You actually secretly went to find a woman and didn't even bring me along. Qin Yun gently caressed her face and said with smile, Yuelon, what did you learn from the dog god? Your nose is so sharp. Quickly tell me, what did you do? Xiao Yuelon asked curiously, Why is the smell of blood on your body so thick? Yuelon, I am going to prepare a gift for you. Qin Yun giggled and said, I want to give you a pleasant surprise. What gift? Xiao Yuelon's curiosity was immediately piqued. Kiss me and I will tell you, Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yuelon kissed Qin Yun's lips and said with a smile, All right, quickly tell me, what gift is it? Qin Yun immediately released the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother and said, Yuelon, she's the Heavenly Mother of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. Hello. After Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound saw Xiao Yuelon, she immediately said politely. She is also stunned by Xiao Yuelon's appearance. Heavenly Mother. Xiao Yuelon opened her beautiful eyes wide and scanned the Heavenly Mother from head to toe. Although the Heavenly Mother of Imperial Sound was wearing a heavenly armor, she could tell that this Heavenly Mother had a hot figure. In addition, the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother has a very tender and beautiful face, which made her very satisfied. Xiao Yuelon is very bold. She directly went over and pried open the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother's armor. Heavenly Mother Imperial Sound doesn't know what Xiao Yuelon is up to, but she didn't resist. "Alright, you two properly talk, I will go find Sister Rujing," Qin Yun said with smile, and then left Xiao Yuelon's room. Xian Rujing and Luiyue Shuyan are together. They are both strong gods of myriad realms' divine court. They are now discussing tactic. Inside a cultivation room, Xian Rujing and Luiyue Shuyan are discussing very seriously and solemnly. After Qin Yun arrived, they immediately stop. "Xiao Yun, you came at the right time. I will take this opportunity to pass on some insights of Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture to you," Luiyue Shuyan said with smile. Rujing is also very curious about Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture. She wants to understand it in passing. "Alright." Qin Yun nodded and said, "Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture contains a very profound method of using divine power. If one can comprehend a thing or two from it, they will be able to increase their divine power." Qin Yun came to find Xian Rujing because he wants to pass on a god position to her. Qin Yun has already comprehended many things about Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture, but it is only his own comprehension. Luiyue Shuyan's comprehension of Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture is also a great inspiration to him. Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture mainly cultivates 3 tribulation, 6 calamity and 9 annihilation. It is very difficult to completely master them. If one can master 1 tribulation, 1 calamity and 1 annihilation, it will be very good. Luiyue Shuyan lightly sighed and said, "Up until now I have only mastered 1 annihilation power." Xian Rujing said, "Even if it is only 1 annihilation power, it is already very strong. Sister Shuyan, when you were outside the city, that kind of world extermination power caused people to feel fear. Rujing, your ice and snow power is also a kind of power filled with calamity and annihilation. You should be able to comprehend something from Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture," Luiyue Shuyan said with smile. "Then later, I hope Sister Shuyan will give me many pointers." Xian Rujing smiled sweetly. "Xiao Yun, did you come to find me or Rujing?" Luiyue Shuyan's charming eyes are like silk, she said with charming smile. "You came to find us," Qin Yun coughed dryly and said with smile. "I came to find Sister Rujing." He finished speaking and took out a transparent pearl. There are many water droplets inside. "Rain God's God position," Luiyue Shuyan said in amazement. I want to give it a try and pass on Rain God's God position to Sister Rujing." Qin Yun took out his Divine King Heavenly Seal. Then he informed Xian Rujing and Luiyue Shuyan about how he passed on Rain God's God position to Shui Weiwei and other women. 2 God position, no one has ever tried this before, Luiyue Shuyan said with smile. "Xiao Yun, if it succeeds, I also want another God position. Pass on Poison God's God position to me." "Alright," Qin Yun said with smile. He used Divine King Heavenly Seal to stamp on Rain God's God position and shot out a light beam that entered Xian Rujing's forehead. Rain God's God position is still in Qin Yun's hands, but Xian Rujing now has a new God position. She spread out her palms, one can see Rain God's God position and the other is her Ice and Snow Goddess God position. "Success, 2 God positions," Qin Yun said with smile. His Divine King Heavenly Seal needs to condense a certain amount of Heavenly Tao divine power before it can be passed on. Then he tried to pass on Poison God's God position to Luiyue Shuyan. The process is very smooth. Luiyue Shuyan also has 2 God positions. and the primordial god position is still in Qin Yun's hands. What is going on here? Qin Yun looked at Divine King Heavenly Seal and said in surprise, I can pass on my god position without limit? Maybe even 3 god positions will do. Xian Rujing said, Xiao Yun, why don't you try using our god position to pass on? Indeed, I never tried it before. Come, give it a try. Qin Yun somewhat excitedly said. Killing God's god position is a black skull. Qin Yun placed Divine King Heavenly Seal on it, then shot out a black light beam through the skull and entered Xian Rujing's forehead. After Xian Rujing received it, she obtained a new killing god position. However, this god position is still very young. Rujing, you are also a killing god, a little killing god. You are now a 3 god position, Lu Yu Shuyan said with smile. Xiao Yun, I also want the ice and snow god position, quickly pass it to me. My Divine King Heavenly Seal is out of power. Wait for me to replenish it, Qin Yun said with bitter smile. How can you replenish it? Do you need Sister Shuyan's help? Lu Yu Shuyan's charming eyes flickered with blurred charming ripples. She gazed at Qin Yun and said with bewitching smile, Sister Shuyan and Sister Rujing will help you replenish it, how about it? Xian Rujing is also looking at Qin Yun with a kind of extremely flirtatious expression. Qin Yun deeply inhaled a mouthful of air, suppressed all kinds of thoughts and said with smile, No need, I can do it myself. He has no choice but to quickly leave so that he doesn't fall into this trap. If he attracts Xiao Yuelan, it will be very bad. Xian Rujing and Lu Yu Shuyan are now familiarizing themselves with their new god position. Especially Xian Rujing, she has the killing god position. She can ask Lu Yu Shuyan to help her familiarize herself with it as soon as possible. Qin Yun is hiding inside a secret room and studying his Divine King Heavenly Seal. He has obtained Divine King Heavenly Seal for many years. When he was 9 Sun Palace King, he saw it. At that time, he participated in the refining of many god positions. Heaven Creation Divine Palace also participated. Those god positions ended up in the hands of Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Heaven Creation Divine Palace said that they will give them to 9 sons to strengthen. Qin Yun suspects that Divine King Heavenly Seal is the same as Divine Judge's Myriad Heaven's Divine Punishment Banner. It can obtain the power of Myriad Realms Divine Sunday, Xiao Yun. Maybe you can obtain all the god positions. You can use Sister Shuyan's killing god position to create a new god position for Sister Rujing. That means you can create all the god positions for yourself. Ling Yuner said. Wrong, I am a Divine King. My Divine King Heavenly Seal should contain all the god positions' power. Qin Yun looked at Divine King Heavenly Seal and said with smile, Divine King Heavenly Seal can directly create new god positions. However, I still don't know how to do it. He still needs to use primordial god position to create new god positions. Quickly go find Sister Shuyan and Sister Rujing. Let them help you replenish Divine King Heavenly Seal's power. They are all very willing to help you. Ling Yun curled her lips and said, 2 beautiful women, you actually cast them aside. Qin Yun is fiddling with his Divine King Heavenly Seal. He is not paying attention to Ling Yun. Now he is thinking of many things. He feels that he can use many god positions to refine a very powerful dragon. Devil Star Tyrant Dragon has absorbed many formidable dragon bodies. That Divine Universe Thunder Dragon's body is also in his hands. Back when I was the King of Gods, I lacked a powerful mount. Qin Yun said, That little girl Yang Yang is so cute, I can't let her be my mount, I can only refine one myself. Of course, this kind of matter has to be done slowly. He now plans to first use god positions to refine Puppet. I will go find Dog God and the others, collect their god positions and then talk. Qin Yun immediately took action, lest Dog God and the others leave Qin Yao King City. It will be very difficult to find them later. Just as Qin Yun left his room, he saw Xiao Yuan pulling Imperial Yin Heavenly Mother over and yelled with smile. Xiao Yun, quickly have a child with little sister Imperial Yin. Lu Yu, Shu Yan and Xian Rujing are in the cultivation room next door. After they heard this, they came out with puzzled expression. Qin Yun is startled. He promptly used mysterious penetration divine ability and escaped without a trace. He originally wanted Xiao Yuan to kidnap Imperial Yin Heavenly Mother and make her his female slave. He did not expect that she would be convinced by Imperial Yin Heavenly Mother. Qin Yun is flying above Qin Yao King City. He wants to find Dog God, but he suddenly saw an old man wearing conical bamboo hat floating in front of him. Seeing this old man, Qin Yun almost shouted in fright. This old man is the nameless old man he met in Sacred Desolate Sun Sacred Land. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.